Attention! We do accept super chats and memberships, and all money earned goes directly back into the channel to allow for more giveaways, prizes, and perks for our viewers and listeners. The cost of running shows like this can be expensive and timely, but we do it for you. If you can help support the channel, we greatly appreciate it, but if you can't, all we ask is that you use your social media to share and support that way. We love you and thank you in advance. We would also like to thank our channel members. We have Saggy Melons, Benson's, Resident Justice, Prakash Swain, DC Talk with Extended, That One Carlos, Caden Reed, Nick Carr, John Rodell, Justin Hines, Billy Robert, Adam Silvestri, Kinky Sphincter, Sean Adame, Nick DePalma, Roblox, Marvel Ultimate, and Rhea. And of course, remember to be respectful. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and genders all across the spectrum to today's episode of Jivin with Jack. Hands down, the best show on YouTube with the words Jack, Jivin, and with. True story. I apologize for starting a little bit late, and it's not because I sent the link to Austin hours ago and not 3 minutes before the show started because I forgot to send the link to Austin. That's not the real reason. The real reason is all your clocks are wrong. But all joking aside, thank you for joining us. I appreciate the support. Listen, David Zaslav is going to be a pretty big deal, it looks like. And I'm excited because I actually have a proper chair to sit on now. I am not sitting on 500 cushions so I can meet the camera. I can actually sit here comfortably and lean back, courtesy of Black Friday. But yeah, so David Zaslav, Variety did a whole thing about them, and this man is important to us as DCEU fans. And it's not just because of the hope of the Snyderverse. This man very well is going to determine what future DC films are going to be like. Could he go ahead and decide, you know what, let's make a Justice League movie with just Gal and Flash and Momoa. Let's get those guys together and forget about Batman and Superman. Or could he be the guy who says, you know what, we already have a Batman and Superman. Let's have them in the movie. Let's go ahead and make Justice League 2. He could be the man who says, let's have Zack Snyder do it. He might be the man who says, you know what? Find someone else. We don't know. But we're going to go through this article because he's considered a huge tycoon now. He's going to be a big, big cheese. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, Star Wars has a new show coming out called Acolyte. I don't know too much about it. But that's why I have Austin and Caden, who know too much about Star Wars. And they're going to tell us what Acolyte is because we have some casting news on that. Plus, Star Wars veteran Will Wheaton has some choice words for Dave Chappelle. And this has been a recurring topic, just like Brittany has been a recurring topic. We're going to get into that. Plus, if we have time and if my co-host will allow me, we might even talk about yesterday's episode of A Hawkeye. But to do this, I will need help from my co-host, Austin Lean 316, who is muted. He's muted.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah. What's up, everybody? Good to see you, man. How you doing? I'm a big chilling on the couch today, if you can't tell.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy because this is a vanity and not a desk. I'm usually sitting on like 6 cushions and always constantly readjusting myself. I got this really cool gaming chair. In fact, I assembled it after Tuesday's show before Quizzo, and right. I don't have to like sit on cushions. I'm sitting properly now. You won't, unfortunately, Benson won't see all the cushions behind me. I'm just got a regular chair. I can sit back. I can lean.
You can lean on me.
Lean. Yeah, I can lean on me. Or
you can lean on me.
Lean on me.
There
perhaps.
You go.
But Caden says he has to be right back, so let's just stop the show until.
Yeah, we can pause and.
I have a little pillow
but no, man. What's up? How are you doing this fine? It's Thankful Thursday. Jack.
Thankful Thursday, yes.
Is there something you're thankful for? Maybe a
Um,
co-host or
yeah, you know what? I am thankful. I had a small dent in my car, and every
yeah,
detailer I
no,
went to
fine.
was like, "Oh, this will cost $5 million to get this dent out." I'm like, "Oh," or you have to get a whole new car, and really, well, basically, they're like, "You have to get a new door." I'm like, "Come on, it's not that bad." I found a detailer. He's working on it right now, and for a very affordable price, and it's already done. I'm gonna go pick it up later tonight when the paint dries. But I'm thankful for Craigslist because that's how I found the guy. He was like, "I can take care of this." Of course, detailers, they want to make money, so they're gonna be like charging an arm and leg. And
Right.
so I'm thankful for Craigslist.
Hey, there you go. Thankful
See,
for Craigslist.
nice short answer from Jack.
I like it, man. I like it. But yeah, no, we got a lot to talk about today. There's obviously the Zaslav article there, Hawkeye, which I would love to talk about Hawkeye with you.
Yeah.
I did want to say, hey, make sure and be checking out, looking into, and tuning into the Little Big City Studios network because we got a lot of fun stuff coming up.
You're covering the Game Awards tonight?
I'm actually covering the Game Awards with you guys. So
there
yeah.
you go. For a second, I'm like, crap, did I just unpromote our channel?
But, no. I'm joining you guys tonight for the Game Awards with Metaverse. But next week for Spider-Man No Way Home, we're gonna have a ton of streams. Me, RJ, Bradley from Compatible Gaming and Cinema. We're all going to be teaming up and doing some streams and doing some fun stuff. So be on the lookout for that, as well as a giveaway because we did cross 100 subscribers.
We're giving away Caden, folks.
We're giving away Caden, ladies and gentlemen. 100 subscribers. We passed it on my channel. Because of that, we're giving away Caden. 1 month, you get Caden.
True story.
All inclusive. You can do whatever you want with him, except he is 19, so keep that in mind.
Yeah.
So obviously you can't, get him.
True story. When I joined Pop Culture Corner, we only had 1 subscriber, and then after me for 1 month, we had 1,500 subscribers. That's not true at all. Also,
there you go, man. I would say you guys, Ty, did an amazing job, right? Of taking in under a year, literally under a year. It's like I think probably around 6 months' time. Yeah. He had over 1,000 subscribers. He's.
True story. Ty, people think it's short for Tyler. It's actually short for thank you.
Ty is actually short. Oh, really? For thank you.
Thank you.
Exactly. His name is thank you. He goes by thank you.
I'm the talent. I just sit here and adore in my 8 viewers. Hello, everyone. Mladen is here.
Hi, RJ. RJ, Mladen, Sam. Good to see all of you guys. Awesome,
same loser, some weirdo.
Right, exactly.
Weirdo. But Sam, I appreciate it. Sam was actually waiting 10 minutes before the show started, so we appreciate it. Listen, I know we weren't going to talk about the Snyder Cut or any of that, and that's not really where we're going with this, but this guy, David Zaslav, he kind of holds the keys to the kingdom for what happens possibly in the DCU. He may fire everyone. He may say, you know what, I'm going to hold on to everyone. But Variety did a very extensive article on him, and I mean, it is a crazy article. It's front page. Let me see if I can pull it up. I mean, this is the first image you see when you click on that. I mean, and like, here we go. It just starts here. How David Zaslav plans to combine Discovery and Warner Media to unleash shock and awe in the streaming wars. And so that's a pretty big statement considering who you're up against. You're up against Disney. You're up against Netflix. You're up against even Hulu. And Peacock is doing pretty well. Peacock has lots of subscribers because of things like Halloween Kills. HBO Max.
Peacock, by the way, is doing for any fans of MacGruber out there. I found this out the other day. Peacock's doing a MacGruber series.
Really?
I'm so excited for that. First of all, I want to shout out Marlon. Hey guys, Marlon is one of our most frequent viewers, subscribers. Check him out. He has a channel. I'll send it to Caden so we can link it.
And I appreciate that. Marlon is good looking enough that he can put his own picture in his profile picture. He's like, yep, this is what I look like. Look at that. Look at that guy.
Right, yeah, it's exactly. Good looking guy. He's super, super nice, and he's here all the time in our chat and watching our videos. So shout out.
Marlon left.
You know what? That's who I'm thankful for today on Thankful Thursday. I'm thankful for Marlon. He's awesome.
Adam, I agree with you. The award shows are kind of like whatever, but big announcements.
Yeah, literally, Adam, I was just about to say the same
Trailers.
thing. I'm not a fan of the Game Awards. I'm only there because they're gonna. I think like Sonic 2 trailer is gonna drop. They're gonna
I already
announce
took it.
other games and stuff. So that's really, that's really. So you know what? Don't watch the Game Awards, Adam. Watch the Pop Culture Quarter, and me and Meta and a few others cover it.
Yeah.
There
And
we
what
go.
time is that? Just so everyone knows.
4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard.
Pacific, so that'll be about 7:30
Yeah.
Eastern. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
Halo
it's usually
TV
the trailers.
series trailer. Oh,
One of my favorite live performances ever was actually at the Game Awards when they had the team from Red Dead Redemption do a performance of a song called "May I Stand Unshaken." Beautiful song, and it was so gorgeous. In the background, it was all red, and they had images from the game, and it was a beautiful song. I'm like, who's this singer? Who are these people? Right. This is what happens when you listen to too much Cardi B, folks. You miss out on the talented artists. That poor guy still hasn't escaped Austin's serious secret room.
Yeah, he's still in there, but the tube keeps him alive. So I think that's like considered gracious, right? Merciful.
Yeah. Oh, you know what's cool? I can do this now. I can lean back like Captain Kirk instead of having to like sit up like I'm usually sitting up like this, and then like I'm sitting on 15. I can just do this.
Yeah, man, you can lean on me Monday nights at 7:30 Pacific Standard Time.
Yeah.
On the who said that? What? Let's see. Tyler says, "Hey, we're covering the Game Awards tonight, right after JIVIN with Jack. So make sure to stay on. Okay, there you go. Right after.
And today's episode of JIVIN with Jack will be 7 hours. So
yes. So stay tuned, guys. But hunker down.
Hunker down.
Help me
stuck in here.
No, he's not in there. I don't keep. I put him in a much.
We haven't packed him up yet for our giveaway or your giveaway.
Yeah. He hasn't been packed yet. He does come with bubble wrap, and the standard feeding supplies for a couple days. But after that, you're gonna have to feed him yourself. But I thought this was interesting. Benson said something. Streaming will end up with Amazon, Netflix, Disney Plus, and Apple. The others will collapse. So, Benson, you don't think HBO Max is going to stick around?
Well, you know what? HBO is already HBO before it was HBO Max. You know what I mean? They had HBO Go and now. So,
but everybody's
I don't know if
going to go into streaming. Even like Showtime has streaming. Stars has stream. Or all these packages that you can add on.
Yeah, I mean, here we go. We got the only reason I have Paramount Plus is to support Star Trek. That's it, literally, and that's a lot of money for one franchise. Peacock, I get a free version with commercials through Comcast. Chances are I would never pay for it.
So,
and I think Hulu might collapse into Disney Plus or something else. I don't know, because right now, what originals does Hulu have?
That are big. Actually, you know what? They did have the biggest original series of the year, that being Only Murders in the Building. That was if you have not watched that show, I don't recommend a lot of shows on Hulu. Yeah. Watch Only Murders in the Building. It is, it's amazing.
What's the show with Elizabeth Moss and she's dressed a Handmaid's Tale? Is that Hulu also?
That is Hulu. Handmaid's.
Okay, never mind. I take that. Hulu has great programming, folks.
Sonic
2, Halo. You never know what PlayStation has. Hulu. Okay, yeah, Hulu might actually stick around. But Netflix. They just dropped the Cobra Kai season 4 trailer, starring Austin Lean.
That is true. He's
in that show. In fact, I'm going to ask Kate. That doesn't have any music in it. I would like to watch it, but this show is constantly getting demonetized because these opinions are too hot for YouTube. Either we mentioned, the Germans from 1939 to about 1945.
Or I said fuck.
You. What? Okay. Yeah. Anyway, I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry.
No, it's probably for the best.
So it's probably for the best. Yes.
Still stay monetized.
So, folks, I'm going to make a plea. If you want to use super chats, we're not going to force you, but if you do, it helps us a little bit.
Super chats.
What happens if these break?
I'm
gonna have to do these wearing.
You can donate
through sunglasses.
Right. If you can donate through Stream element as well, because YouTube does take a nice hefty 30%.
By the way, this is pure coincidence that I'm wearing this shirt. It has nothing to do with the Game Awards.
Well, that game sucks anyways. So
you didn't play this?
It's all right. I played it.
Are you talking about the multiplayer or the campaign? Because I love the campaign. Because person from the campaign is a friend of the show.
I haven't been into a Call of Duty game in a long time.
You didn't like this one either, Modern Warfare, because this one looked like this is the only game they put thought into in the last 10 years or last 5 years.
Yeah, you know what? I'll tell you what. Like, I enjoyed the realistic mode.
Is it Quibi free, Mlodkin?
It might be second to collapse after Quibi. No, Quibi doesn't exist anymore.
I'm thinking of 2TV.
Quibi collapsed. But here's the thing. Benson says HBO Max will be bought by Netflix or Amazon. So that would mean they buy Warner Brothers.
Yeah, Warner Brothers owns HBO.
I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't.
Because just look at a lot. Okay, so just think of all the IPs Warner Brothers has. DC, and believe it or not, Friends is really effing expensive. Netflix paid $100 million just for 1 year of Friends.
Yeah.
Friends alone is a huge thing. You're talking about the entire DC universe. You're talking about Harry Potter. I don't know if they're going to buy that out because that's their bread and butter. Because as much as people hate Warner Brothers, they still love Harry Potter. Harry Potter is still a successful franchise. Matrix is coming out in a couple of weeks, still a successful franchise. And they already know that the Batman's going to be big. The Flash will probably do really well. And whatever comes down the line, Aquaman 2, they're going to, I don't think they're going to sell that. HBO is a juggernaut before it ever got into streaming. Right. They have Game of Thrones, man. Game of Thrones alone would probably be worth maybe $1 billion, maybe more. If Star Wars is $4 billion, Game of Thrones has got to be worth $1 billion, I would say.
Yeah. And Benson says, I just got a message from RJ. He says, release him from the room and give him back his Spider-Man pajamas. First of all,
Benson learned how to spell pajamas, but yes.
He will never get his Spider-Man pajamas back. And he's not allowed to be released until Spider-Man No Way Home comes out, unfortunately. Yeah. So
that's in a week or 8 days.
But yeah, he's got a week. It's only a week.
It's only a week. Justin says the campaigns are all right. You know what? Call of Duty Vanguard. I played the campaign. I actually enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed it a little bit more than I did World War II. I thought it was actually pretty cool. They kind of did like a World War II stuff. Dozen where you have 5 characters who are kind of put in a super team, and then they explore like, oh, this is North Africa.
Hey, Enosh!
Hey, Enosh is here.
Good to see you, man. Thanks so much for
I want to tell Enosh the story, but I need him to be on the show when I tell him the story. You know the story when I had to leave when he was on.
Right.
I wanted to have him on. Can you set that up maybe in the next couple of weeks whenever he's free?
Yeah, I'll ask him. I'll ask him. I can ask him if he wants to come on right now. Actually, he's got a. Let's see here.
Yeah. So here we go. We have Looney Tunes. Oh yeah, they own Looney Tunes too. That's a huge franchise. That's well, you might not think, but that's a huge franchise. And then on top of that, you got like Space Jam. You got all. It would not be as simple as Disney buying Fox. And Disney buying Fox was a huge deal because at one point Fox distributed Star Wars, but they bought Star Wars first, and then they bought Fox sans Star Wars, probably a little bit cheaper. Buying HBO. I mean, if they would have to buy individual properties, I don't see them buying Friends. I don't see them buying. I mean, if they wanted to, they could. I don't see them buying. Looney Tunes. I mean, it's just too much. And Looney Tunes and DC, there's a lot of cross-pollination there. But Sam Williams says, I can't wait for tonight. I'm excited too. Actually, a lot of people crap on the Game Awards. I enjoy them. I know it's not the Oscars, but it's more interesting than the Oscars.
Oh, yeah. I think for a lot of people, it's more interesting.
Where are these two guys on my phone? I'm in the UK, Jack. We spell properly.
We spell properly. That's right. No.
You mean correctly?
Right. They know the English.
Yeah.
I'll see Adam. I'll try and swing by if I can. Yeah, RJ, dude, I'd love to come by and say hello.
Yeah.
But look, I know before Enosh comes in, it's gonna be.
Oh, you ruined the surprise! Damn it!
He put it in the chat.
Yeah, I know, but we could have said, no, he's not coming on, and then he actually shows up. Big surprise.
Never mind, guys. Enosh isn't coming. He's too busy for us.
Yeah.
But
cinema is close to collapse as streaming grows. Me and Ty talk about this a lot. I hope cinemas don't collapse because look, I have HBO Max.
It's not.
I saw Suicide Squad in IMAX. I'm going to go see The Matrix Resurrections in IMAX. Even though we seem okay with that right now, once cinemas are complete, like, look, Spider-Man's coming out next week. Even if it was on Disney Plus for $30, I would still go to the theaters to watch it. You don't want cinemas to collapse.
No.
And exactly. You know what? I saw House of Gucci. I'm glad I saw it in theaters. I'm going to go see West Side Story tomorrow. I'm glad I'm going to see it in theaters. All right, here we go. Messages from my producer. Netflix can buy Sony. Dude, no. Sony is huge. If you're talking about Sony Pictures Entertainment, still pretty big. But Sony is worth more than Disney. Yeah.
I mean, look, and there's some theories, right, Benson?
I actually looked that up. Disney does about $50 billion in revenue a year. So, Disney does. Sony does $150 billion. Wow. Remember, Sony is huge. Their gaming market, their electronics market is bigger than their film market.
Their music, Sony Music produces a lot of
Sony Music is too big. Their film industry could collapse, Sony Entertainment, and Sony would still be pretty massive. It'd be like, oh yeah, we got the PlayStation, we got Sony Music, we got electronics, we make TVs that compete with Samsung and LG. It's always Samsung and Sony are always competing with each other about 4K and now 8K. Austin is correct. There's some awesome plans in the works for next week.
Yeah, super excited.
Sony produces Cobra Kai, according to our producer.
There you go.
What else we got here in the comment section here? Zaslav is not the guy to develop a DC universe. He doesn't have the money or the know-how. He should stick to no neck and popping pimples. Well, here's the thing. He doesn't need to run DC. That's not what's going to happen. He's going to select the people who will run DC. It's not like he himself would now be Kevin Feige sitting on his computer like, okay, Justice League 2, what happens? And honestly, the important part of being a CEO is not so much being able to execute good products. It's about finding the right people. That's what it's about. If he can find the right people, maybe he gets rid of what's his name, Walter Amada. Maybe he keeps him. Maybe he puts him in another job. Maybe he finds.
And that's the thing, because Benson, right? You're right. Zaslav may not be the guy, so he may just keep these guys around, and they may push forward. I mean, look, I think eventually, unfortunately, I hate to say it because I don't want to, and I don't want it to. I think eventually theaters will die out, but I think it's gonna be a slow process. I don't think it's gonna be quick. I think you'll see things like theaters will be exclusive to these event films.
Yeah,
The Matrix, Marvel, DC, James Bond, big IPs that are known, that are guaranteed moneymakers. And these riskier films, I mean, look at Batgirl. Batgirl, for some reason, is an HBO Max original. I would think that's a movie, but that's what's going to start to happen is these companies aren't going to want to take the risk of spending the money and not getting the box office revenue compared to the streaming, where these things have a much longer shelf life.
Yeah, but the bigger movies, they make $1 billion, $1.5 billion. And I was talking about this earlier this year with Owen Gleiberman, and I was talking about the movie Ghost. For those of you who haven't seen Ghost, it's a romantic film about a woman who loses her boyfriend. He comes back as a ghost, and he's trying to convince her that he was murdered. He's trying to save her. In 1990, that movie made $400+ million.
Right. It's a big deal.
And I don't know what that is with inflation, but that's pretty damn high. Because the next year, Terminator 2 made $525 million and was adjusted for inflation. It's the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time. What do I mean by that? When was the last time a movie like that made $1 billion? Just a drama. The very fact that a movie like Titanic made $2 billion, I don't know if that would happen today because it's not an action-packed movie. Yeah, the ship sinks in the third act, but think about that. When was the last time a non-action movie made big numbers, or even a comedy? I mean, The Hangover was a huge blockbuster, but even then, how many comedies are making
I think the last big comedy to be doing that was, I think Ted made $500 million at the box office. The first Ted movie. So yeah, you're right. Comedies, dramas, they aren't. You know, you do have movies kind of like the Conjuring movies that tend to make a lot of money. They're not necessarily, but they're horror, and that's kind of outside of
they
the
make
action.
good money. Yeah.
You know, yeah. So, but you're
horror
right.
still has the ability to draw audiences because Halloween Kills was on Peacock and still had a great opening weekend considering. And that movie probably cost 20-30 million to make, maybe, depending how much they want to pay Jamie Lee. But the rest of the cast, they're not getting big cash. But like the horror is the one that could do that. But even if we've seen with Chucky, you know, hey, let's make a TV show out of this.
Yeah.
And it's done very well. It's very popular. And yes, they may be like, hey, you know, we'll just keep doing TV shows.
And yes, Sam, Jumanji did kill at the box office. Both of them. Yeah. Both 1 and 2 killed at the box office. So that's what I'm saying, right? Those big IP franchises that are for right now, they're kind of guaranteed money makers. They'll stick around. They'll be in theaters for a bit. They'll keep it going. But you know, I think, you know, somebody said, yeah, streaming is a great place for indie films. It does depend on how a lot of the films are budgeted and stuff. But yeah. Look, I do know we got a special guest.
Yes, we do.
Joining us.
All right, let's just change this.
Surprise.
And I'm here to tell you all how wrong you are.
Yeah. Let's go.
Bam. No, you know what? Here's the thing. Let me turn this down. Hold on a second. Okay. So I love the theater going experience.
Yeah.
And I get it. People are all on this thing of streaming, and I am too. I'm subscribed to every streaming service there is.
Right.
Here's the problem. I'm not saying that the theaters aren't going to go away eventually, but I will tell you this. This idea that they're going to stick around for 1 or 2 movies a year or just these big event movies, that's never going to fly. I've talked to people in the industry about this. I know I'm just a Midwestern guy. I've talked to people.
Those Arquette.
Yeah, I know. Well, somebody told me a couple of weeks ago that you're just a Midwest guy. You don't live on the coast. You don't work in the industry. Like, they know nothing about my history whatsoever, that I worked in TV, radio, that my grandmother was signed with MGM, you know.
Oh,
so
wow.
Yeah, miss me with all that. Okay. But I just happen to be in the Midwest now. But here's the thing. You know, I've talked to people in the industry. I've talked to my local theater manager. The guy's been in this business for 35 years. Mm-hmm. They cannot survive that way. I know we all think, well, I just want to go see the Avenger movie. People tell me nobody's going to see the rom-coms. Yes, they are. They're called middle-aged and older people. And guess what? We do exist.
Yeah.
I know everybody thinks that it's a young person's world, but older people exist and go to films. And it's those films that prop up the industry throughout the year between the big tentpole movies. So if you just said, well, we're only going to do like Star Wars and Avengers and, you know, or like the Marvel movies or whatever. Yeah. Right. There's no way that that the local theater, like now we got these Cineplexes, right, that have 12, 14 theaters in them in an IMAX and stuff like that. You can't keep up the bills on a place like that because the movie theater is not getting all that money.
Yeah. But at the same time, I think definitely for sure indie films will be sticking to streaming. I'm seeing those go.
I said you are right.
You are right,
and you're right too. You're right too, Austin, about like how much money they will spend on these films. I said this back in January. Nobody wanted to hear me about it when all this stuff was first announced. We were in the middle of COVID and everything,
right?
And we couldn't go to the movies even, and and I told people then, and it was not popular. I said, listen, here's the thing that you're going to have to get used to. If you think that that all the movies that you see right now, these, $200 million spectacles, right, with all of their special effects and everything are going to just be strictly on streaming. No, right. What's going to happen is, and it's exactly what's been happening. What's up, Billy? Sorry, I haven't been saying hi. Hi to everybody who's been saying hi. If anybody's been saying hi. But the thing is one of two things are going to happen. Either the movies are going to get extremely cheaper.
Yeah.
They're not going to spend $200 million on a movie anymore. They're going to spend, $80 million on the movie, and they're going to start doing some of the things that you see them doing using like stagecraft technology. I'm wearing Mandalorian shirt and hat right now. You're going to see a difference in the quality of films, a lot less on location stuff, more stuff that they can just control environments and make it look like it's something that it's not, on the cheap, right? The movies are not going to look as good. I'll just be honest with you. You're not going to get, you're going to get if you get a physical media of something, or even if you stream it in 4K on your big 65, 70 inch TV, which I've got a big 65 inch TV myself, like I love it. Right. But the reality is that things will change majorly. Either they're not going to spend as much money on the films, so the quality is going to suffer for some of the films, or they're not going to spend as much money on the films because there's going to be more films that go to streaming, and they're going to become series, and they're going to become, they're not going to become these big event things. I mean, they will be big events, but they'll be different, just like the Marvel movies or Marvel series and stuff that we've been seeing lately. That's exactly what's going on with that. Is you look at that, it looks good. It looks good, but they're not spending, hundreds of millions of dollars on it. They're doing what they got to do to put it out and make it look good, and they're still able to get the big name stars to come back and do these things. We're seeing this right now, that people are now crossing over from the movies into the shows, right? And that's why, and of course I'm going to bring it back to this, that's why as a Snyderverse fan, I keep telling people they don't have to spend $200 million on Zack Snyder's Justice League Part 2. Right. Like, and anybody, and look, I'll be the first to be in line and tell you that anybody who's like demanding that this thing be in theaters and Zack Snyder come back and take over the, the DC universe and all that stuff, like that's nonsense. Okay. That's nonsense. Any rational Snyderverse fan just wants to see the story. Like even Dave Pena and I were talking about, a possible comic book. Is that what we want? No. But if Zack chooses to tell the story that way, Zack loves that medium. Zack loves comic books, So like everybody who's demanding my way or else, this is not what I want. Is what I want. You need to check yourself because you sound like a baby. But as far as streaming is not going to go anywhere. That's the future, man. That's the future. But you got to have the cinema too, man. The cinema's
exactly.
Cinema.
And you do think of movies and things like, right? I didn't even think about like Crazy Rich Asians, right? A couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I was in Hollywood the night of the premiere.
Really?
Yes, I was right there. I was right. I just happened to be driving through there and was down there.
It's the one thing I think is they did super, super well. A Star is Born even a couple years ago. Really
well, I think sometimes as geeks we're in a bubble that we forget that people. I went to see House of Gucci Friday night. Friday, and it was a packed theater. It wasn't like packed like a Marvel opening night pack, but it was pretty packed. The other thing is that back in the day they would have like these subscription services. Oh, AMC, see as many movies as you want, but you can't see IMAX or 3D. You have to pay separately. Now that's changed.
Movie Pass.
I got the Movie Pass for AMC. I can pre-order I get for IMAX, for 3D, anything I want. And I think that's the way because of that, I have seen more movies this year in theater. I'm at 21 so far. And tomorrow I'm seeing West Side Story, will be 22. Because of that, it feels less expensive to go to the movies. I mean, $20 is what? Like 2 streaming services like Netflix and Disney Plus combined. I'm already paying for that.
Well, look at you. Look at behind you there. Look at behind you there, man. Look at behind you, dude. Like the some of the movies that you have there behind you. Sure, you've got BVS. You've got the Joker up there, right? But who else do you have up there? You got Pulp Fiction. Mm-hmm. By this logic that we just eliminate the theaters and only send in these big event movies, a movie like Pulp Fiction doesn't find its way into the theater. Well, so you're just going to relegate that, to a streaming service. And so you're just going to close down the theaters. I mean, like the thing is like the theaters are not like they're a perishable asset. Okay. Yeah. It's not like they can just exist in a bubble. I mean, some of these theaters barely made it through COVID with what was going on. I mean, having to shut down and everything. And it was a nightmare. Like our theater almost shut down right around the corner from us. Right. Yeah. And so the thing is that, it is a perishable item. If if there's no movies there, they can't. It'd be like telling you, well, hey, guess what? You have to, you can't work anymore, but you can go to work once a week.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, how are you going to pay all your bills on one day?
Yeah.
Right. You say, well, that's the big day. That's the important day. That's the day that we're doing this big thing at work. Great. That doesn't help you, though. It doesn't help you pay your bills. And so look, I understand that people like they're getting comfortable with streaming. I love streaming, you know, for the most part, because there's some big movies that like I see it, I'm like, well, yeah, you know, like now I'm a moviegoer. My wife's a moviegoer. We typically go to the movies often to see movies. But there's been a couple occasions this year where I was like, you know what? It's on stream and I think I'll watch it at home first.
Yeah.
You know, and then I made my decision like, I'm not going to go watch it. You know, like Suicide Squad, I went to the theater. I watched Suicide Squad. And then I watched it again at home. Wonder Woman, I went to the theater first. I was committed to going to the theater to see Wonder Woman. I was so committed last year to seeing Wonder Woman that I didn't know that if our theaters were going to open or not. Right. And I made plans with some people in Ohio who were just over the border that we were going to go and drive down to Ohio and watch Wonder Woman, because I was not going to have that big screen experience taken away from me. I did not want the first time that I watched Wonder Woman to be on the small screen. Small screen's great. Even a 65-inch screen, that's awesome. But dude, it does not compare. It's just a different thing. I understand it's easier to stay home and, you know, and think of it. Well, I'm not spending money and all that stuff, but yeah, it may be a luxury, but but for moviegoers, like back there, dude, you got like The Godfather and you got Pulp Fiction and you got, so if you love movies, if you love films, you're going to go to the theater.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's going to be like always. People are going to go to see the movies that they want to go see. Yeah. Right. And you know what? And honestly, the industry is going to have to change a bit. Yeah. You know,
I mean, I've been kind of encouraging people like to watch. Okay, you're going to go see your Marvel movies, your DC movies, your Star Wars. Go see the movies. Like House of Gucci is not something I normally would be interested in, but I saw it was Ridley Scott. I'm like, my ticket's already paid for. Friday night, go see it. I'm going to go see West Side Story tomorrow night, even though I have zero interest in musicals. But I'm like, push yourself a little bit. Push yourself a little bit to see other stuff that when I was in college I would have watched anytime. You know, I regret that I didn't see Judas and the Black Messiah in theaters. I watched it on HBO Max because I was like, oh, this is not a movie I'm going to be interested in. I watched it. I'm like, you know what? This should have been something I should have paid a little bit more money.
There's a great movie that I've been wanting to see out right now called it's an indie film called Come On, Come On with Joaquin Phoenix. You know, A24. Like I try and make an effort to go and see the indie films when I can because I love indie movies. But I don't know. I see people like Ridley Scott. His movies are going to stay in theaters. You know, a lot of these, but some of these other films, like a movie like Come On, Come On.
But if those were indie films, anyways, you know what I mean? Like they're not. That's why there's art houses and there's indie houses that play those films, right? So, I'm just saying. I've had friends and I love those friends who are just like, well, all these rom-coms need to go away, need to stop being in theaters. There's no reason for them. I don't go see them. Nobody goes to see them.
Right.
That's a short-sighted comment. Because you're acting like everybody has the same taste that you have. And that's just not true. People go see different types of movies all the time. That you like a movie that I wouldn't like, and I like movies that you won't like. And so we have to remember that. And we have to remember that, you know, the 50 people that go see that rom-com as opposed to the 300 that go see, you know, the Marvel movie, whatever. That 50 people is keeping the theater in a state where at least they can keep the doors open so they can make a little bit more money at the big movies. Now, RJ, you brought up something that's totally different though in the comments where he said, I had to watch Wonder Woman at home because I didn't want to get my grandparents sick.
Sure. Right.
Dude, that's a completely different thing, man. That was a completely, my only thing was that I was committed that if there was a theater open and available for me to go, I was going to go. I was safe. I was going to be careful. I was going to do what I needed to do to be safe and to keep myself distanced from everybody. Obviously, I was taking precautions back then. But then the week before, my local theater around the corner opened up. So I was able to go to that theater. And you could only have so many people in that theater. You had to be spaced out. You know, you couldn't be next to anybody that you weren't with. And and we went to go see Wonder Woman. And, you know, as controversial as that movie is, I'm glad I saw that in the theater.
Same.
Right. I'm glad I saw that in the theater. And then, because then when I watched it at home, I was like, oh, and you know what really did that to me? It, like, really taught me that was Bill and Ted Face the Music.
Oh,
I've been waiting for that movie for 30 years, man, for as long as like it had been. Like, I'm a huge Bill and Ted fan. I was so excited when I found out that they were finally doing that movie, that they were actually committed.
Like it?
No, I loved it, but here's the thing.
Okay,
I personally asked what's his name? Not Keanu Reeves.
Alex Winter.
Alex Winter. I met Alex Winter, dude.
Oh.
I met him and a few years ago, and I walked up to him, and like this the thing that I said to him was, I said, dude, I just got to know, man. Like, I keep seeing these rumors and everything, you know, like, are you guys really thinking about doing a Bill and Ted 3? It's been so long, man. And it was funny because there was nobody around. He was just at my Comic-Con, and like, he wasn't talking to anybody. He was just sitting there, and I just walked up next to him. I didn't pay for a picture. I didn't nothing. I just sat down next to him and started talking to him, and just told him how much I loved, you know, the stuff that he's been in and stuff. And obviously got to talk about Bill and Ted 3. And I was just like, dude, you know, there's all these rumors all the time and all this speculation that you guys are wanting to do it. And he goes, no. He said, man, it's a passion project. Keanu wants to do it. I want to do it. He says, we just got to, and at that time it was just, hey, we got to find the right people who will let us do what we want to do,
find the money,
and find the money. Yeah. To make the movie and stuff. So when I found out, dude, that they were making that movie and that it was actually coming out, I was so excited. Here's the problem. I had to watch it at home.
Oh, that's right. It came out streaming.
And when I watched it, it was cool. I like it. I haven't rewatched it once. I watched it twice. I think I watched it twice, and then I haven't rewatched it again since it came out. It doesn't feel like it was real.
Yeah,
that should have been an event movie.
Right.
Yeah. Like, and I get that you can only I get that you can only put stuff off for so long, but it totally took the eventness out of it for me, where it was just now like I was just almost like I was watching like a direct to DVD sequel.
Yeah, or made for TV movie, even like it feels weird.
Yeah, it just felt weird. I'm not saying that was the quality of the film, because I think that the film was good.
Yeah.
But I feel it made me feel weird about that film now. And and I can watch those first two movies at home on TV anytime, or I got them on Blu-ray. I can watch them anytime I want. When I watch those, I don't get that feeling, but
I had the reverse effect with Wonder Woman 1984, because it came out on Christmas Day, and we're very, we're Catholic, so at home, like, oh, you're not going to the movies. But I and Justice, they did live from a movie theater. I watched it on HBO Max. Didn't like it. A few weeks later, a friend of mine hadn't seen it. He's like, can we go see Wonder Woman 1984? I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. And I saw it in the theater, not IMAX, just a regular 2D theater, and I enjoyed it. I'm not saying the movie still doesn't have issues or anything, but I actually was like, you know what?
Yeah.
It's actually not bad. And maybe it was because it was a bigger scope. All of a sudden, the scene, when they're in the convoy in Egypt, felt better.
Yeah.
Even though I have a nice size TV, it felt better. It felt bigger. It felt like they were actually in danger. And Wonder Woman was like fighting these tanks and stuff, I was like, oh my God, yeah, you know what? It just clicked with me. Like, yeah, it's because I saw it on the big screen. It hits you differently.
It just does. Yeah. It just does. Yeah, it is. It's scope. Look, 2 weeks ago, I watched Zack Snyder's Justice League in a theater for the first time, dude, in Detroit. It was an amazing thing that was put on for the AFSP. And dude, there were about 50 of us or so in the theater. It was this huge, like, awesome theater. It was a huge screen. I mean, it wasn't like your typical movie screen. I mean, this thing was like ceiling to floor. It was not an IMAX, but it had an IMAX feel to it because it was such a big screen. And they even brought in the curtains for the 4:3 ratio. So it didn't feel like it was weird or cut off or anything. It felt amazing. The sound was amazing. I saw things that I had never seen before because I'm stupid, I guess. Like, I had never seen Zack Snyder in the coffee shop. Never saw him in the coffee shop. Really? The entire time, every time I'd watched the film, I'd seen the film 17 times. Every time I watched the movie, I was focused on Amy Adams. I'm sorry. I was focused on Amy Adams because it's Amy Adams.
No shame in that.
No, but I was focused on her. So I never saw Zack in the background. There was another thing where, like, I didn't notice the AFSP sign.
Really?
Never know when him and Barry take off in the car. I had never noticed that sign before, but it was huge, and there it was. I also didn't notice something that I would never notice, even on my 65-inch screen, is when they're in the Batcave and they're all talking. There's a scene where like Cyborg is standing there and he's like talking in the background, like way down in the corner down here somewhere is a screen. There's like all these little screens, like these red little, digital, things like that. And the bat tank that's seen at the end of the movie, there's a digital picture of the bat tank down in the corner there. And I was like, that's so cool. Like, so, I mean, and just the sound and the experience, dude, like I'd watch that film and like geeked out over all the cool parts that I like. Right. But it was so awesome being there now with other people. So it was like when something would happen that was super exciting, like everybody was just like, yeah, like we're all cheering and stuff. And that was exciting because you were feeling it with other people around you and you were drawing off their energy. And I'm telling you, people can say whatever they want to, but it's psychological. And you notice something since we've all been like restrained to our houses where we all watch this stuff by ourselves and we're not watching it with other people. We're not getting that reaction out of other people. All of a sudden we hate everything. Yeah. Everything sucks. Everything is critical. Everything is just like, it was okay. Like even if we're trying to be the cool kid in school, right? We're just like, yeah, it was okay. Like nobody just, comes out anymore except for RJ. RJ just loves everything. But no,
there was a time Ty loved everything as well. He went through a phase.
Ty went through that phase too.
Remember? Yeah.
I want to ask you about Zaslav and the Snyderverse.
Yeah.
But before I do that, I have to tell you the story. You came on the show.
Yes.
And I had to leave. So this is a funny story. So
I just figured you didn't like me.
No.
Which, mind you, I just want to preface. I knew what he did before the show. He told me moments before the show, and I went through the process of everything that was going to happen, and it happens. Continue, Jack.
So I had the same mattress I've had for 20 years, and I would have these neck issues. And I just got this chair. So before I would sit on a regular chair and sit on like 3 cushions so I could be framed up. Ooh. I had a severe neck pain. And it was one of those like neck cricks where you can't turn your head this way.
Oh, dude, I'm in constant neck pain right now. I've got cervical issues that I got to get an MRI for. So my hand's been numb for all year. So yeah, I hear you.
So that day I'm like, all right, Dad, we have someone important coming on our show. Oh. I've taken a Tylenol. It's going to be at least 2 hours. When you're sitting like this, your neck hurts more.
Yeah.
So I've never used drugs. I'm not one of those people. He just had knee surgery. He's like, well, Pink, Tylenol's all working. Ibuprofen's not working. I have something called Percocet. I'm like, yeah.
Oh my God.
I figured it's just a painkiller. Now he's been taking them for a while, so he's fine. And
look at the good stuff.
And this is prescription Percocet, and he's like, "Here, do you want to take 2?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure."
God.
So I tell him
2.
What? You did not take 2 Percocet.
He's never. Oh God!
I've never done any of this stuff. So I tell Austin, and Austin, tell him your reaction when I told you before the show started that I'd taken 2 Percocet.
There's no way, dude.
His eyes just went like this.
Oh, dude, I was like,
no freaking way, dude. I take Norco. I mean, which is basically it's basically Vicodin light. It just has less Tylenol in it. That's it. But I take Norco, man. I tell you what, I've taken. So I've done everything for my neck pain and my back pain, dude. It's because I'm a guitar player. I mean, I'm playing guitar for like 30 years. And so because it's over my shoulder, I've had this neck injury and stuff from because I toured throughout all my years. And so like I went to the doctor in my 20s and I was like, dude, I'm getting this pain in my shoulder. There's this knot that won't let up. And he's like, well, let's talk about what you do. Like, what's different? And I'm like, he's like, what's different about your left shoulder? I'm like, the only thing different about my left shoulder is I got a guitar strap over it. Yeah. He's like, well, can you play guitar less? I'm like, can we talk about what I do for a living? No, I can't. And so he's like, okay, well, can you sit down while playing guitar? And I'm like, no, nobody wants to go see the band where like the lead guitar player is like sitting there.
The one guy, 20-year-old, pulls out a chair and just goes, all right, guys.
Like, what the heck? Like I'm, I don't know. Jeez, man. Like, no, I'm not some old dude. Like, come on, give me a break. And I move all over stage, man. Like, I'm all over the stage. So it was just like, no. So like I went on this thing, man, where it's like for years, I've done everything, man. I've done spinal injections.
Oh wow,
yeah, dude. Yeah. I've done cervical injections where they just take a needle and they put it right in between the pieces of cartilage in your neck, and you hear it go in. You feel the pressure. It's weird.
I've had steroid injections.
I've done chiropractic. I still do chiropractic. I just found a new thing though, dude. The Y strap. Have you seen the Y strap? Mm-hmm. Oh, dude, you know what? Like while we're talking, I'll share a video of the Y strap with you, because the Y strap has been oh my gosh, dude. You don't even know.
Dude, I feel it. I have degenerative
looks,
arthritis, so
it
my
looks
back
like
is
it looks like, I know it looks like you're gonna get your neck pulled off, but it's not. It's freaking amazing. Hold on a second. As soon
Is that
as
the thing that kind of holds your shoulders back or whatever?
No. They strap your neck into this thing, and they got a harness on it. I'm pulling the video up right now to share with you, because you won't get copyright claimed on this. But no, so dude, I've done everything, man, and it just nothing has helped. I mean, I get some help. Like the Y strap thing has helped, especially this year, because I injured my neck. I was sitting on the couch and I was falling asleep like this, dude. I was going like this.
Yeah.
And I gave myself whiplash and I messed up my neck. And then I woke up the next day and like I was having spasming all down my arms and stuff, and this pain, and I lost feeling in my 3 fingers. I was playing guitar and I couldn't even hold on to a guitar pick.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I couldn't even, dude, it was horrible. So, dude, but I take Norco, and I'm very careful, dude, because that just takes the edge off. Like I don't get the high just taking 1 Norco or whatever, but I just take 1. The most I've ever taken is like 1.5 if I was like really in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
But dude, I know people who take Percocet, man, and like others.
So
dude,
here's the thing,
my dad 2 Percocet.
Like,
what the heck, dude?
And you've never taken Percocet.
And you've never taken it. Oh
no, knee surgery is really
funny.
painful. So even if he took 2 Percocet, it would take maybe half the pain away. So it did nothing to him. So he didn't know. He's like, "Yeah, just take 2." So when Austin's like, "Oh, you're gonna feel like this," I'm like, "I feel fine." And in fact, as the show starts, about 10 minutes in, I'm like all of a sudden I'm feeling this. I think I kept calling you Poindexter Lounge instead of Enosh. You're talking about one subject. I'm like, "So Enosh, why did you become a pastor?" And you're like, "I'll get to that, but let me finish this point first." And I'm like, I feel drunk. And at that point, I text Austin. I'm like, "Austin, this is not, I'm going to ruin the show." You know, it's literally like I'm going to be like really drunk and sleepy. And I'm like, and like, I'm slurring my words. If you go back and watch that show, then I'm like, I think I need to leave.
I'm going to have to go back and watch that show, because holy crap, dude. Like that's,
yeah.
Okay, here. So let me.
So like, and then I was like, I text Ty. I'm like, "Ty, I gotta go." Like, then I threw up.
Here's the
funny.
I
threw up. I went, came back, and I'm like, "All right, I'm back." And I'm like, "Nope."
And then you text me. Yeah, you gotta go. The funny part, though, what did you do 2 hours later after taking?
I had to go to work. I had to go to work. So I had to have my dad drive me.
You did what, dude?
I had to go to work, so he drove me and picked me up.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Dude, by the way, his work is he hosts trivia.
I host trivia on a microphone.
I bet you were hilarious that night.
Luckily, when everyone else was drunk, I came off completely normal that night. I was like, no one noticed a thing. My dad
guys, I got some trivia for you. You guys ready for some trivia? Yeah, I know you're ready for some trivia, aren't you? Yeah, you've been trivia twice today already. He's gonna get some trivia later. Oh yeah, we're all gonna get some trivia. Yeah, baby. Oh my gosh, dude, 2 Percocet, dude. You had to be like,
I
can't.
That's why I had to leave the show. I'm like, I can't. No, this is not good. I tried to get through it. Like, this is about 15, 20 minutes in. It starts kicking in. All of a sudden, my eyes are like,
I gotta go back and when that video was, man. I got to go back and watch that, because
he starts sweating and stuff. You can see it. It's good. It's really good.
Oh my
god!
I
apologize for that, but that's why
I had no idea, dude. I had no idea. I mean, I wouldn't have known, dude. No, but that's good. That's hilarious, dude. That's hilarious. Check out this video that I just shared with you.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Can you bring it up?
Yeah, right there. This is what I discovered, dude. I asked about this, like, after I saw this. I was just like, with neck pain, you know, it's like you just get to a point, like I was getting to a point where like I couldn't even hardly think. When I went on my Chicago trip, you know, a couple months ago, driving there, I had to stop at a rest area, and like Tiffany had to like just manhandle me, like walk on my back, like it hurt so bad. My neck was hurting. I couldn't even think straight. It hurt so bad. And so then I started seeing these things, and I was just like, that looks so satisfying. Just so satisfying. I was like, even if it doesn't work, man, I just don't care. And so I asked my doctor about it. I was like, because I was going to the chiropractor already. I said, hey, what do you guys think about this Y strap thing? You know, and I was kind of like, it's kind of crazy, isn't it? And he's like, well, it's interesting that you mentioned that. Like, what do you think about it? I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, if it works, it works. And he's just like,
Yeah.
Well, we do it. We don't suggest it for everybody because it freaks some people out.
Mhm.
He says, but if you want to try it, and I have, and dude, I mean, when you talk about relief, check this dude out.
You know what? That does look painful.
Oh.
Oh!
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
It's so good though.
Really?
Oh, it's so good. I mean, they put you in this, right? And it pulls like all your vertebrae at the same time, man. And it just.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I'm telling you. I hope they do it where you can hear the actual crack. You're not hearing the crack. Hear it. And they're what is it? Okay, this dude's doing some other stuff.
Has this gone wrong and anybody's neck gotten broken?
No, man.
Okay.
No. Okay, so check this. I think this.
But get it done by a chiropractor. Please don't try it yourself.
What's that?
Please don't try it yourself. Some people are like,
I know, you can buy them, man. You can buy them.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Oh my goodness.
So there's a recent trend of online medical professionals performing spinal manipulations called the Y strap.
This dude actually went and got one done. Like he's a spine doctor.
Really?
Like, yeah, he does like surgery and everything. I'm trying to find oh yeah, here's where he actually
I just gotta address this comment real quick. Integrity says it doesn't look fun, I'll take an inversion table. What's funny is I actually did an inversion table because I had a curved spine.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing was, for about 2 years, I was actually 6 feet tall.
I had an inversion
I actually
table.
was 6 feet tall, and but when you stop it, you go back to 5'10". But my sister's like, you were so tall in college, and now you're back to 5'10". And my family's from Pakistan. I'm thankful to be 5'10". You know, but like inversion is great for your back. I have my dad doing it because he has sciatic nerve pain. A lot of these things work, and they're better than surgery or
Oh, here we go.
Hey guys,
I think
Dr.
this
Joseph
guy is going to actually
today
show
we're
it to
using the Y strap. This is really good for upper cervical problems, or people with headaches, but also really good for decompression of the low back. For instance, like a hernia, or some people have facet syndrome, something going on like that. Today we're going to be adjusting Troy. Lift your head up for you, Troy.
You got 4 there.
right.
Just relax, Troy.
Yeah, you just got to relax and
tension. Beautiful. Wonderful. Just breathe for me, Troy.
so good when it's done, though. So good when it's done.
And you went to a chiropractor to get this done?
Yep, I went to my chiropractor, man, and I'll tell you what,
And
man.
did it work if you had one of those things where you can't like turn your head to one side? Because that's what happened that day.
Yeah, well, because I was having that problem a lot, man, where it's like I had no range of motion whatsoever.
Yeah.
And so, man, he started doing that. I actually talked to him about it because a lot of times I'll be doing my nerd encouragement things on the way to the chiropractor.
Right.
And so, like I said, hey, can I come in here sometime and like film you like doing the doing your thing? I'm like, a lot of people are like interested in it, so I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna like hook up a mic so you can hear my neck just go. It's like a xylophone.
You know what? I always tell the kid, I was saying the kids, but like Caden, Austin, and Ty, they're on like their 20s. I'm 34, but once you hit 30, your body starts malfunctioning. It's
You just
like,
don't know.
Once
You have
you
no
get
idea.
Can't
to
do weird positions anymore. Your body starts like, nope, you know. And I actually ended up buying a high-end mattress. I never thought like. As a kid, I'm like, oh, one of the things I have to do is buy a high-end mattress or an expensive mattress or a good mattress.
Jack,
And all of a sudden, it made the difference. I haven't had a problem in 3 months.
Jack, I tell you what, one of my funniest memories as a kid is I remember looking at some old people who were complaining about their back, and I was like, wow, how does anybody have back pain? What is that? And it's like, dude, my entire life after that, like as soon as I hit my mid 20s, it was like back pain. It was like, oh, I get it now. And you know, it's funny you mentioned like crazy stuff happening to you. Like I literally on a Saturday night, I was playing with my band at this bar, and we were just finishing up our set. And like I said, you know, I'm pretty active on stage. I do a bunch of stuff. I'm surprised that I haven't hurt myself on stage because I'm jumping around, man. I got a wireless. I'm like, you know, I'm doing my thing because we put on a good show. But then the last song at the time, I didn't have a wireless is what it was. I didn't have a wireless, so I couldn't go too far. during the last song, I accidentally knocked my wire out of my pedal board. And so all I did was reach down real quick, just bent down, picked up the cable and plugged it back into my pedal board. And I went on. Didn't feel anything, no effects, nothing, man. Then all of a sudden, like, we're like hauling stuff out of there, man, putting it back in the van and everything when we're done with the gig. And I started getting like this pain in my lower back, like it's, your sciatic nerve, and stuff.
Yeah, my dad has that problem right now.
So I messed myself up so bad. The next morning I woke up, I had to go to church because I had to lead at church. I could not stand up straight. Wow. I was bent over, like in this weird contorted way. Like I could not straighten out because it felt like somebody was shoving a knife in my lower back if I did. And it was like this hot pain. And I couldn't get to a chiropractor until Monday. And so like I was standing there, like the pastor that I worked with at the time thought that I was like stupid. And I was like, dude, I can't stand up. So I had to sit there with a guitar. I still get the guitar, but it took me almost 10 minutes to get to my seat after we were done. And I looked like, honestly, and this is not a joke to anybody who has disabilities or anything, but the way that I was contorted, people were concerned about me because I looked like I was almost like I looked like I was almost making fun of somebody with like cerebral palsy or something, right? With the way that I was contorted and stuff. And it was just it took me a good 2 months to get straightened out, and I have no idea what I did. All I did was pop something. I popped something, man, when I bent over to do that, man. But I can't believe you took 2.
But you made that point. Like I remember people were like running down the stairs. Older people would be like, "Oh," like when I was a kid, jump down the stairs, slide down the stairs, and they're like, "Oh my god!" I'm like,
"You're gonna hurt yourself." Yeah.
Right,
no,
yeah.
Now I can't imagine. I used to skip like 3 steps at a time. I hold the handlebar and go down like a step at a time. I'm like, all right, even if I'm like trying down. I'm telling you, Austin's making a face. Austin, you're 24.
No, I know. I did middle school. I spent all my years doing stunts, all 3 years, and I was like violent with it. Like I was the guy that like I would hurt myself for the audience, get a good laugh, and be cool with it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, literally, Johnny Knoxville on stage.
Yeah,
like I remember,
that dude's got a colostomy now.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, and he's still doing stunts.
Yeah. Well, after my middle school years, my first year of high school, I went snowboarding and ended up like Thanksgiving. I was in so much pain I couldn't even come down for dinner. Like I was just in bed all day, and I found out I have it's called degenerative arthritis. And so like my back, my spine, there's like massive separations in between my spine because of like the deterioration. And they're like, oh yeah. And like, in a couple years, by the time you're 30, we're going to need to put a cage in your back to keep it together. And I was like,
it's crazy.
Oh, cool. That's fun.
Remember how on Tuesday we were talking about
I know an older lady who had that cage done, dude, and that is some serious stuff. They have to go in through the front, and
my mom's had it done.
What's a cage? It's not like a girl.
So the arthritis is inherited because my mom has it and my grandma has it, and so my mom already had the cage done, and she's had discs, and all that fun stuff put in there. So yeah, no, it's eventually going to happen for me at some point.
Benson knows. Actually, all that's a lie. I hurt my back during my exotic dancing days.
I heard about those. Those were your Vegas days, right?
Heck yeah.
Let me ask you this: when you guys were young, did you guys ever work out and not stretch? You know how everyone said,
all the time.
Now I can't even imagine not stretching. I do light workouts. I'm like, I got to stretch for like 25 minutes before and after. But like, it's amazing, It's like once you especially your late 20s and early 30s, your body's like, nope.
You change. You change.
But
okay, so you change, but it's like you don't know that. Right? Like you don't know that you can't do certain things. Like, because I'll be honest with you. I'm still very active. Excuse me, and I'm still like, I got a lot of energy and I do a lot of stupid stuff still, whatever. But what's really weird is like, because I lost all that weight, right? And I play softball. And so in playing softball, I found myself all of a sudden after I lost all that weight, I could not run. I messed myself up. I can't run to save my life. Literally, I'd be horrible in a horror movie because I can't run. I cannot get my legs, even though I don't weigh what I weighed. For some reason, I always feel like I'm running through mud. It's like
you go through a crash course, like starve yourself type of lose weight, or was it?
No. I had bariatric surgery. So at first it was a balance thing because at first I was like off balance. Like I went out there like to play softball and I pitch and it was like, whoa, I'm like, I'm running around and I can hit, so I'm getting on base, but I'm like, dang, I can't, like. I'm feeling really weird. Like I felt like I was over top of myself, right? Because like I used to like compensate for my weight. And so like now I was feeling like I was leaning forward too much, it was really weird. But then even once I got out of that, I just can't run. If I'm trying to run, it's just like, I feel like I'm running through mud and it's just my body now. It's just like, and I've asked about it and it's like, it's like your body does. Yeah, but that's things like your body starts doing weird things. Everybody's got a weird thing, right? Like that you don't even know. Everybody looks normal, and stuff. But then like everybody's got like a weird thing, right? Like I got hit. Speaking of softball, I got hit in the leg in my shin in my late 20s. I think I was like 29. I might have been like 30, and I took a line drive right in the front of my shin. I mean, hard. First game of the season, this dude hits a line drive. It was so bad, everybody just stopped and just looked. The guy who hit the ball stopped, and he didn't even run. And I bent down. I was in shock. I picked up the ball and I threw the guy out, and I thought that was it. And I got through the rest of the inning, went and sat down on the bench. I pulled up. I was wearing sweatpants. I pulled up my sweatpants. I was bleeding.
Oh my God.
That's how hard it hit. It ended up being a contusion all the way to the bone. Right. And now, like I've had to have like different procedures done on my leg where they go like, because like it messed up the veins in my leg. So the circulation is weird now. I've got like this permanent brown spot on the front of my shin because the skin and everything, because it went all the way, it bruised. It got infected. I had to go through 2 rounds of antibiotics to get it like it was bad. And now it's like my left leg is bigger than my right leg. Because of this, like I've had procedures done actually to like strip the veins in that leg to like help the circulation and stuff and everything. And it's still my left. So like when I buy jeans, when I lost all this weight, it sucked because I could get into smaller jeans and what I could actually fit, but I couldn't actually get into those size jeans because the legs weren't big enough. So like it just sucks. So everybody's got some weird.
I got some bad news for you. You're relatively young. Once you get to your 50s and 60s, my dad fought in a war in Pakistan versus India a long time ago. Got beaten up, POW, all that stuff.
Man,
he was fine until he hit like 68, 69. He's 70 now. His hearing started to go from the bombs from when he was like 19, 20.
Really?
The places where he got beaten with the butt of a rifle started aching.
Wow.
His eyesight started to go. Like all of a sudden these things hit him. And the doctor's like, did you have like some kind of trauma? Because now, of course, he's lived in America for nearly 40 years. Like when you were young, and he's like, yeah, I was in a war when I was like from age 19 to 21. And he's like, well, that's what it was. Stuff that happens to you when you're 19, 20, 21, serious stuff like bombs going off and stuff like that. Now his hearing is going. We got him hearing aids. He's had to have both knees replaced. This stuff, apparently, I've been warned, like, be careful when you're young. Even when you're working out, don't overdo it. And he was in a war.
This is the old man stream. I'm ready for RJ to come in with the old man yelling at cloud, like memes and stuff like this. I tell you guys, be careful there when you're young, because when you get old like me,
but here's a good thing.
I like Benson's comment. You're getting old when you need cushions for your needs for sexy time.
Hey, that's actually that's good advice for. Never mind. But
depending upon where those cushions are placed, it can help. Easier
like my
access,
dad,
if you know what I mean.
My dad is 70, and this is a common thing. Like he's
and
70.
I think Austin knows what I mean. They make there's a whole industry that makes wedges, and never mind. We won't get into
that. But no, like he's 70, but like he looks about 10 years younger. Because when I was
there it is. There it is. I tell you guys, back in my day, I used to play guitar, and I reached down one day and I raised my back in 2008, and now I'm never.
Let me ask you a question. Do you know who Judas Priest is?
Oh heck yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay,
do I know who Judas Priest is?
Because Austin thinks that's
I'm out of here.
I know who Judas Priest is.
Let me tell you this story.
Okay.
I was young. I was a huge Judas Priest fan. And this is like 2005. I was in college.
By the way, the irony, I'm sitting here with a heating pad.
I could sing. Oh, there you go. I used to be able to sing angelically, and I could hit those high notes like,
oh, dude.
I never warmed up my voice.
Nope.
I never did any vocal exercise.
Nope.
But from age 16 to 24, I could hit those high notes. Me and my friends would just blast Priest and Maiden. Now, when I sing, it is awful. And someone be like, well,
you know who makes me sick about that?
Warm up your voice. Did you not do that? Like, no. He's like, well, you ruined your voice because you were young and you were like,
everybody has a different thing, right? So like I've never had to warm up or anything, but I'm seeing now like I there's some things that like I do need to warm up or whatever, or like I'll crack or whatever, and that's fine. So I'm adjusting to that. Somebody who I hate for that. He was my musical hero. I don't know if you've ever heard of the band Petra.
Yeah.
But Petra was my inspiration for getting into music. Now, Petra started in 1972, but in 86, they got a new lead singer, John Schlitt. I actually played with the dude. He's a Grammy Award winner, got to tour with him. It was his guitar player. I actually put the band together that backed him up. They had some stuff, actually, Jack, that like he had a scream back in the 80s, dude, because they were like, they did that whole 80s metal, kind of, they had many different sounds. They literally started in 72 and they sounded like, a 70s rock band, and just other stuff. Right. But in the 80s, they had this 80s rock sound, and he's famous for they did this like backstage video kind of thing where it was like a day in the life of the band. So they're on their tour bus and everything. And like his thing was like eating candy bars and Diet Coke. Right. And it's like, that can't be good for you over time, but the dude is now like in his late 70s, and the dude still like nails it. Like he has some shows, I'll be honest with you. Like if I'm just being honest with you, nobody's watching, right? No, he has some shows where I've seen it like it's starting to catch up with him. But I just did an interview with him a few months ago, where I had him come on and stuff. We were talking, and like that used to always bug me about him. He would always talk about how like he never warmed up,
right?
But he's got this amazing raspy rock voice.
Yeah.
And, and that was just his thing, so there's some people who get away with it, like I've been a musician my entire life, a guitar player who turns everything up, never wore earplugs, hated earplugs.
Real quick question.
And I've never had any hearing issues or anything, like that. Tiffany tells me that I like the TV loud, but that's just because I like the TV loud. It's not because I can't hear it. It's just like I like to feel it,
Enosh, real quick. Did you ever learn to read music? Because I play guitar and it was always tabs for me. Yeah.
Nope.
Okay. Yeah,
nope. Never learned to read music. Everything was by ear.
Really?
Yeah, dude. I developed my ear where literally I could sit. If you want me to play something, I can learn it within just a short time. Yeah, dude, all the stuff when I toured with John Schlitt, I had no music given to me. I had no tabs, no nothing, dude. And I had to learn like all these guitar solos and like all this like intricate music that does like a bunch of weird stuff and everything in like 2 months. And we went out ready to play. He showed up and he thought that he was going to go easy on us. And we were just like, well, hey, do you want to do this song? And he's like, you can do that. And I'm like, yep. We're like, as a band, we were just like, yep, we got it.
Real quick, Integrity writes, 80s metal is killer. How can you love Judas Priest? I'll say this. I got to see Priest 2004 in Philly, the Ozfest, and Ozzy was sick. So Rob Halford had just reunited with Judas Priest, and he had to do the Black Sabbath stuff for Ozzy. And honestly, he sounds better than Ozzy.
Wow.
It was great. But Rob Halford just didn't have what he had 15 years earlier. Same thing with Maiden. However, in 2007, I got to see Ronnie James Dio with Black Sabbath, the Heaven and Hell tour. And Ronnie James Dio sounded exactly the same.
Holy diver, you've been down too long in the deep blue sea. Oh, what's becoming of me?
Exactly.
Ride the tiger.
You can run into. I'm sorry. Rainbow in the dark.
I think I need to warm up now.
I can't do it. But
my favorite though.
And this is
like a rainbow in the dark. Like a rainbow in the dark. How many syllables in dark? Dark.
Dio sounded exactly the same, even though, and he died maybe 2 or 3 years later. He had cancer, unfortunately. God rest his soul. But I love watching Priest live. I love watching Maiden live. But as they got older, you know, it happens, age.
Yeah.
But he, with Tony Iommi on the guitar, sounded exactly the same. When he sang Heaven and Hell with Black Sabbath, I'm like,
Dude, you know who's like that as well. And I know it's a couple of Christian bands that I'm talking about here, but a lot of people know this band more is Stryper.
Right.
Remember Stryper? Okay, so Stryper is one of those bands. I tell you what, don't sleep on Stryper. You know, Stryper was one of those cheesy 80s metal glam bands, right? They fit that. They had the yellow and black thing, and they were doing their whole thing and whatnot.
Yeah,
they got back together a few years ago. Excuse me. I saw them for the first time live mid 2000s, right?
Yeah.
They could not have been better in their heyday than they were right then. There's no way. It was perfect. I mean, it was so amazing with all their song stuff. But and then I saw them again, and it was good. Michael Sweet, the lead singer of Stryper, that dude has one of the most amazing voices ever. He helped induct Boston into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And when he did, Boston was going on tour the next year, and they didn't have a singer. Michael Sweet fronted that band. Michael Sweet fronted Boston for, I think it was like 2 or 3 years. And he's got an amazing voice, dude. And I'll tell you what, their stuff now, like, is not anything like even the 80s. It's not like the glam metal 80s stuff. I mean, their stuff is like rip your face off, huge guitars, like just amazing production quality. But the thing is they produce it all themselves, right? So like not everybody hears that. But Michael Sweet, his voice, dude, he's like 50. He's 50s, you know, like early 50s, maybe, you know. Right. And but that dude, man, has not lost it at all. That dude has got but you know, he's talked about it actually, that he's always taken care of his voice, always made sure that his vocal cords were taken care of, like that he always, you know, he didn't, you know, he wouldn't push himself too far or whatever, you know, which kind of sucks for me because my first band, Antioch, we got picked to be on a Stryper tribute album. That was, I mean, it was an international release. All these bands and stuff, these indie bands got together, and we were asked to be on this album. And so we did a Stryper song called Free, and one of their most popular songs. And dude, so here's the thing. The night before we went into the studio to record it, we had to record the whole song that day. The Friday night we had a show, and it was like this special show that like there was no opening bands, there was nothing. We played for 3 hours. I mean, dude, it was like one of those things where it's like you throw everything in, even the kitchen sink. Like we played because the crowd was just, man, this was the mid 90s, okay, where here in Michigan, the music scene in the mid 90s was amazing. I mean, dude, the music scene up here, like everybody was just supportive of each other, and everybody went to shows. I mean, that's what I did. Like if I wasn't playing a show, I was going to a show. Every week, at least one, if not 2 or 3. Like that was just how it was. And we'd go to these shows, there'd be 5 bands, man. And like, you know, like we were a house band at like this club and stuff that we'd play like, you know, at least once a month. And so we got free admission, so we could go anytime we wanted. So it was just freaking awesome, man. And I say that because we did this show, no other bands, just us. The energy was so intense that we just played for 3 hours. We were even like people were like yelling out songs, and we were just figuring them out, man, and doing them. That's how intense this show was. Unfortunately, that was
lost your voice.
Yes, that was before Enosh discovered that was actually one of the turning points though of how I discovered tuning down a half step. Because now I tune down a half step. All my guitars are tuned down a half step. I do everything in E flat tuning. But the thing was that we got to the studio the next day, man. Like I did my guitar parts. It was awesome. Bass player did his parts. Like everything was, you know, like sounded great. The music sounds amazing on that recording. If you had me right now go into the studio, I could sing that song flawlessly.
Yeah.
All came down to me doing the vocals. dude, I sound like I am screaming trying to hit that
no.
note.
Yeah.
Because there's some notes in there that are pretty because Michael Sweet was really known for his high notes. And so, man, there's just the backing vocals are there because like we did the backing vocals, I'm with other people and stuff, and those sounded really good and tight and everything. But man, my lead vocal plus they mixed it really dry. You know what I mean? Like I don't understand for like that kind of music, like why they ended up mixing it like my vocal really dry. So that made it worse because it wasn't even a wet vocal with like some effects on it, to kind of fatten it up or anything. And so it just sounds like I'm like I'm. I was like, like you can hear my voice cracking. And the thing that sucked was our friend was producing the album. And I asked him, I said, I'm really not happy with my performance. And I know I can do this. We've been practicing this thing. So I know I can do it. I said, it's not me. I said, it's just that, my voice is shot. I said, can I come back later and do this? He's like, no, I got to turn it in. I was like, okay. I mean, like, but if there's any chance, can you please let me know? He sat on that for 2 more weeks and never let me come back in. And I give him a hard time about it to this day because he's still a good friend. But yeah, I give him a hard time about it to this day because I'm just like, dude, like it sucks because it was a great opportunity, for me and the band and everything. And it even got like when the album got reviewed, like people loved our song, and they weren't harsh, but it was just, like it wasn't my best performance, so it's still one of those things still to this day. It's just kind of like, but it's all good. It's all good. But especially like when you're paying tribute to somebody who has an amazing voice like that, like,
yeah.
Oh, we got a super chat. Benson says, tough day for my nan's funeral. And oh my God, he talked about this, reading her eulogy. You guys are just what I needed. Enosh is a nice bonus. If anyone out there has an elderly relative, make sure they know how much you love them. I agree. Thank you, Benson. That's a beautiful sentiment. And yeah, keep Benson's
love you, Mark,
grandmother in your prayers. But yeah, Benson has told us about this, and I appreciate Benson. I appreciate you being here despite all this going on. And I'm glad that this silly show on YouTube brings you a little bit of joy. So thank you.
Yeah. Appreciate you, Mark.
It'd be better if Austin wasn't here, but yes, we're here.
Yeah, no, Mark knows my love and heart goes out to him. Him and I talk, and so he knows what's been going on with me and my grandmother passing, and so Mark, much love to you, man, and hope the best for you.
Yeah.
So you were asking me about Zaslav. So
yes,
and then I got to get going.
I wanted to. So I know you went live Thanksgiving night when a certain picture was tweeted out that said "Final Crisis" in the background. You had a terrible guest on that night. I'm trying to remember his name. Something Line or Lean or whatever it was. He was awful. It was the worst.
Yeah, I can't stand that guy.
I vowed not to have that guy back on anymore.
Never have him back. But listen, Variety did a big thing today on Zaslav. I know as Snyder Cut fans, we get very excited, even at the smidgen of news. We're like, oh, he's come back. And last time I asked you about this, you said that you had sources or you had talked to people, and you think it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Yeah.
Do you still feel that way?
Yeah, I do. And I know I take a lot of I take a lot of flack for this, but I feel like the people who give me a hard time about it, and Benson's one of them, Mark's one of them, and I love Mark. Mark's a good friend. But I feel like sometimes the people who give me a hard time about I don't feel like they actually listen to what I say. Sometimes I feel like they kind of rope me in with a lot of these people who are just blindly hoping, that something happens one day. I'm not just some blind, to the truth kind of guy, that like if the facts are there in my face, like I understand some people feel that the facts are this isn't going to happen, whatever. And I respect that. But the thing is like with this, what I really don't like right now is the people who they say, I don't like it when people say that they want the Snyderverse to continue, yet they do nothing but dunk on it. That doesn't make any sense to me.
What do you mean? Like
Like they just, I see this thing lately. It's kind of cool to say, well, yeah, I want the Snyderverse to continue, but it's not going to happen. And so that's fine if you say, hey, I don't believe it's going to happen, and we have that conversation.
Yeah.
And whoops,
sorry,
my phone was.
I misunderstood what you said. I thought you meant like they want the Snyderverse to continue, but they like hate BVS. That's what I thought you.
Oh
meant.
no. But like Austin knows what I'm talking about, because we have this conversation a lot on there where it's like people will come on there like, yeah, I'd want it if it happened, but it's not going to happen. And instead of just like leaving it at that and just going like, hey, you know, like I just don't think it's going to happen, you know, because like me, when you ask me about it, like, you think it's going to happen? Yeah, I think it's going to happen. I'm not getting all like, it's going to happen. I'm telling you right now, if they're signing on the dotted line, Zack is waiting with bated breath. He's waiting just for this moment, you know, and he's going to do this. He's going to take it over. Like, I don't get like that. And so it kind of frustrates me when I see like people that I love on the other side of that like they automatically get, not just to say like, look, I look at it and I don't think that it's going to happen, but to jump on it.
Yeah.
And you know, say it's not going to happen, and you're like, and then like take a personal track on it.
And that's how it ends up.
Yeah.
Always.
And that's how it ends up. And like, for me, I'm not sitting here saying that it's like, it's a done deal. You know, like it's inevitable. It's whatever. I didn't mean to, and I wasn't trying to point you out. Integrity. I just saw integrity is inevitable. Okay. I do believe it's happening. I do believe it's going to happen, but it's going to take time. And there's certain things that have to happen for it to happen. Now, Mark, I will address your comment directly. Who are my sources?
Is that Benson's real name, Mark?
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I outed that. Yeah, sorry.
No.
I mean, I think everybody knows. Because I've heard other people comment.
So, to be honest,
so Benson says, who are your sources? I'm not going to tell you that.
Integrity 101. I'm telling you right now.
No, it's not. I'm not going to tell you who my sources are. Matt Jarbo did not challenge me on that. Matt Jarbo challenged me on something else, and I love Matt, but Matt knows that I was very upset at him for what he challenged me on, because what he challenged me on had nothing to do with this, Mark. And that's the thing. That's why it's confusing. That's why you'll find it confusing, because I did not have sources on what he challenged me on. I had sources on something specific that happened with Zack Snyder, that I knew firsthand what had really gone down, that people were reporting something different and trying to make it out that Zack had a different thing. And I had a personal conversation with Matt, a personal, mind you, conversation with Matt about what I knew. Okay.
Real quick, Enosh.
Yeah.
I'm just going to bring in our producer, Caden. You know Caden, right?
Yeah, I know Caden. Yeah.
Caden, I'm going to bring him in too. He wants to join us. So I've been holding him off. Poor guy.
No, that's good. That's good. So why this is confusing, Mark, is because what Matt did, and I've talked to Matt about this since, and we've had this conversation, that bothered me was that the information came out. The stuff about Zack came out. Okay. It came out through different things. Weirdly enough, nobody latched onto it. There's a story that was out there that I saw reported that I knew was going to happen. Okay. Something that I knew was going on because I had been told, but I had also been instructed that not everybody was told it. And that if I said anything, basically they would know it was me. Okay. Well, I ask you this, what are you going to do with that? I don't care who asks me. I'm not going to get into that. Now, I did see one person telling the story. Strangely enough, nobody seemed to care about that story. And it actually has to do with this whole thing. So, Mark, I can't help it what Zod Writer does. Okay. Zod, I love him as a person. I completely disagree with some of the things that Zod says. I love integrity. And I appreciate integrity's
passion,
enthusiasm and passion for the Snyder cut. Okay. And he has that. But Mark, I'm not out here. I'm not a loony who's out here like engaging in like telling people something that's not true. I have maintained the same thing since the beginning. And that is, certain things have to happen for this to happen. Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody acting like Zaslav is just some idiot. Oh, he just knows about Discovery. You go, with no neck, what's his name, whatever, and the pimple popper and stuff like that. First of all, he would not be in the position to be CEO of Discovery Warner. If you don't respect the man, I don't know what to tell you, because he will be in charge of Discovery Warner. He's going to be the one deciding your content for Warner Brothers. And believe me, he didn't get that position by being an idiot who doesn't know what he's doing. Okay. Entertainment is entertainment. You may not like Dr. Pimple Popper. You may not like No Neck, whatever his name is. What is it? No Neck Ed. No Neck Ed. Right. You may not like reality TV. I don't like a lot of reality TV. I do like Dr. Pimple Popper. Okay. But that's no, Mark, how am I'm not dodging the question. Are you saying, I feel like you're dodging the question. Are you saying it will return, yes or no? You claim you have a source, so you must know. No, my source is not to say yes or no. Okay. It's just that things have to happen for it to happen. And those things are pretty well known, Mark. Those things are pretty well known.
Well, it's almost like history repeating itself, like with the Snyder Cut. Like,
look,
like it's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm not saying it's going to happen, Mark. That's what I would really like people to stop saying. I'm saying, if you ask me, do I feel that it's going to happen? Yes, I feel like it's going to happen. Am I telling you 100% it's happening? Am I reporting that? No, I've never reported that. Yeah. If you ask me my personal feeling about it, my personal feeling is yes, it's going to happen. But that's not to entitle somebody or impress upon somebody to run with that and act like everything is this other thing. And RJ, I agree. I don't think Zaslav is some white knight. I'm not going to say that, but I will say this. I'll just say that Zack himself. And this is the other thing. Too many people act like Zack doesn't know what he's doing either. Like and it's on both sides. There's people in the fandom that literally act like Zack has to be coddled like he's a little baby and we got to protect him. We got to protect little Zack. Like we got to, we're coming to his defense. We're going to defend Zack because Zack's just this weary soul who doesn't know what he's doing. Zack knows exactly what he's doing. Yeah. So if you want to know what has to happen, look, the first thing that has to happen is this Warner Brothers takeover, okay, with Discovery and Warner. That's one step in and of itself. Zack has gone on record, was asked straight up, if Warner Discovery came to you and said, "Hey, we're in here now, would you do it?" He said 100% yes. Yeah. He did not balk at it. He did not balk at it. He did not hem and haw about it. He said 100% yes. It was not like some would tell you that it's like, oh, well, I'll do anything for a customer. No, it wasn't any of that. It was simply he is passionate about this project. He is passionate about this thing. He wants to do it. Okay, he wants to do it, regardless of fans, regardless of anything. Yes, he wants to give the fans what they want, but the thing is the fans want what he wants. So he said that. He's also gone on record again saying, hey, in another conversation, in another interview that he was giving, where he himself brought up Warner Discovery and said, well, Warner Discovery's coming, Discovery's coming in. We'll see then, right? So that has to happen. The other thing that has to happen is there does have to be some regime change. Okay, you're not going to see, and this is what like it doesn't take a source to even understand this, but this is what the people that I talk to and that I know who are close to the subject. Okay, and I've been close to the subject. I've had conversations with people. So yes, those are sources. I'm not pulling some doomcock and like, oh, I've got sources that they're telling me that this is no. I've been privy to conversations. Okay, and the conversations all go like this. These things have to happen. Nobody's telling me, Enosh, we're telling you right now it's going to happen. Zack Snyder signed on the dotted line. He's so ready. Like Warner Discovery is just waiting for the ink to dry, and they're going to have it right. And I'm not telling you that. That is not the type of sources. That's what other people that I love. But the thing was they were getting defensive at the time. And that was the problem that I had with the conversation where it was brought up. Well, you say you have sources. No, I was never saying that. I was never saying that.
Sorry, I told my mom you're a pastor, and she wants to say.
Oh, what's up, Mom?
I said my mom watches. She loves pastors and stuff. So when I said he's a pastor too, she wanted to say hi.
Hi, how are you? Keep us in your prayer, please.
I definitely will. I definitely will.
You.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. God bless you.
Sorry, I told her.
We're still waiting for the segments.
So this is all I'm going to say about this because I love Mark and look, I'm tired of arguing with people about this and I don't want to argue with Mark about this. But Mark, you're wrong when you say that if you ask Zack if he wanted to direct a Willy Wonka movie, he would say yes.
Yeah.
That to me that's the problem right now. Is you have two schools of thought. Nobody seems to be like in the middle and like thinking about this. Okay. And I love Matt, but Matt is like on the other side of this too, where it's like everything is the negative all of a sudden. And we got to figure out what some, like why it can't happen. Okay. And again, you implying, something I wish you could see how somebody as influential as you should be more careful as encourages Snyder fans who would let this go. Dude, but you're not listening to me, Mark. Like, I think both of these guys right here, all three of these guys get what I'm saying. I'm not telling you that I have a source that's told me that it's happening. I never said that. Right. I never said that I have a source that's telling me that it's happening. I've said I have, if you want to call them a source, friends, people that I'm a part of, that I have had conversations with, where we see and we've heard ways that it can happen. But those things are pretty obvious now. It's not that those things are that. No, Zack would not say that. Look, and I'm just going to disagree with you guys because it's frustrating. You got Matt. I love Matt, but he's snarky, and that's what he wants to say, and that's just what he's going to do. And you're never going to win that argument because he's always going to have some snarky thing to say about it. So no, it's not a feeling. It's not a feeling. It's conversations that have had that these things have to happen for it to happen. One, it has to be the Warner Discovery thing has to go through. There has to be a change in regime, and there has to be a change in how it's done. Okay, Zack. Look, I'm not going to speak for Zack, and neither should you. Neither should anybody else. Okay, this idea of Zack will just, well, Matt, it's your opinion. It's your opinion that Zack will just say anything. Well, then you don't have a very high opinion of Zack Snyder, and you don't have to. You don't have to. But we're going to disagree about that because Zack Snyder's a whole lot more successful than both of us put together. Zack Snyder knows what he's doing. Zack Snyder is a guy who's been very successful. He knows how to run his business, and you know what? He knows who his true supporters are. And no, he is not just full of BS. I'm sick of seeing this stuff that Zack is just full of BS and just gives people whatever they want to get. And that's not what I'm here for today, but that's my thing. As far as Zaslav goes, I think Zaslav wants to make good entertainment. If it makes sense at the end of the day where it's going to make them money, they'll do it. They'll do it. I don't see how you have a high opinion of somebody though, Matt, if you just think that they'll just say anything, because that's not a person of integrity. If you ask somebody and they're just like, I mean, you guys to literally bring it down to, oh, you want to do this type of movie? Yeah, I'll do that type of movie. You want to do this type of, yeah, I'll do that type of movie. You want to do that type? Yeah, I'll do that type of movie. No, that's not Zack Snyder. He's got his own ideas. He literally is right now in the process of doing his own thing because he can't do the other thing. You get it? Like he's not just throwing stuff out there. Like and this is what I even said about the turkey thing. The turkey thing was stupid. Okay? The way people reacted to the turkey thing. And you want to talk about, Mark, like understanding like your position, like with people and influence. That's what I try to tell people. Like it's somewhere in the middle. Okay? One, it's a picture of a turkey, right? It's Zack saying, hey, they're getting together, it's Thanksgiving. But he does that stuff where he puts little things in there. Now, would I ever say that that meant that Zack Snyder is developing something or, he's doing something? No. And I think people took that too far. People like Zod Rider, people like others took that way too far. And they tried to make it into stuff like, and I supported Matt. I was actually on Matt Jarbo's stream the night that everybody came after him. Right. Mark, that's not me though. No, that's not me, dude. No. Look, if people
Mark,
interpret what I just said as it's absolutely happening, then they're idiots. Okay, I don't care who they are, because I didn't say that.
You never said that.
I never said that. So I can't help it. Like if I say whatever I say, like I just told you, there's a possibility that it could happen, because even Zack has said there's a possibility that could happen. I'm not telling you anything like that's any different than that. And I've never sat here and gone, it's happening, guys, just whatever. No, I've never done that. So I don't care if it's integrity that takes that. Look, integrity's convinced already. He doesn't need me. He doesn't need me to tell him any different. I just told you what my sources told me. And it's not just what my source told me, it's conversations. It's not like we got together and they're like, all right, so we're a source and we're going to tell you something. It's a conversation about what would need to happen for it to happen. And I just told you, regime change, he ain't going to do it with the Hamadas and the Emmerichs and the people who are there now. That has to change. Okay? That has to change, man. That's just it. Like, and obviously the higher ups, as far as the CEO, Warner Discovery is a big part of that. That's why he's mentioned a couple of times. Well, we'll wait and see, whatever happens with Warner Discovery. Plus, it's not going to happen right away. It would be down the line. It's not going to, you know what I mean? Like, it's all pretty common sense stuff. That's why I'm so surprised that people are like trying to call me on the carpet somehow, like I know something that whatever.
Yeah, I think people need to take that source thing that you said, and you need to referring to something else, and it was a while ago.
That was never referring to the Snyder cut or to the Snyderverse stuff. That was something literally that I had a private conversation with about literally during the Snyder cut stuff that came out. Right. It was like literally right as the Snyder cut stuff was coming out, and it was about something else. It was about a completely different situation that was not Snyderverse related, that had nothing to do with whether the Snyderverse continued or not. It had to do with a certain situation. Actually, if you just want me to tell you, it had to do with the situation that arose afterwards with the people that Zack ended up distancing himself from.
Yeah.
And so I knew things about that. That was made into all of a sudden, and it's unfortunate. And I'm sorry that it was made into, well, Enosh knows something. No, I never said that I knew something about the Snyderverse continuing. I said that I knew something about what was going on with that situation. And even then, that was a private conversation. So there you go. So I don't know what to say. The thing is, if you ask me my personal opinion based on everything that I see, not source related, but just what I see that's out there, it will happen. It's just going to take time.
Yeah. I'll tell you this. I've been with Pop Culture Corner for about a year now. And Austin knows this, Cade knows this, anyone who watches this show knows this, that I have been very hard on Marvel, especially on their television side, since May, whenever Black Widow started. And I feel like I would not be as hard on Marvel had I not seen the Snyder Cut. Because I feel like the Snyder Cut scratched an itch for me. Not just because I wanted it, but because it was a director who had a specific view. I'm not saying that the film is the best comic book movie ever made, but it had TLC. The movie had TLC. You had a director who paid attention to his film. And after watching the Snyder Cut, all of a sudden Black Widow didn't do anything for me. All of a sudden, The Eternals, which I did get a chance to see, didn't do anything for me. Mm-hmm. And the subsequent shows, whether it was WandaVision or all, which probably are good shows, and Austin knows about this. I complain about the shows because all of a sudden when I watch a movie that a director, you could feel his sort of handcraft around it. And I was like, that's all it is. Zack Snyder's Justice League is a movie that has attention paid to it. It was not something that he wrote and directed in a 1-year period to set up the next film so you can set up the next film. And I guess I got to say that I think Zack Snyder, in the looking at it from a bigger perspective, was both the problem and the solution for the DCEU, if that makes sense. Like, okay, BVS was a bit of a problem, but here comes this 4-hour movie that is so well done and it has so much of the artist's imprint on it that I'm like, you know what? I want more of that type of comic book movie. And
yeah,
to be honest with you, Falcon and Winter Soldier, I've crapped on it. It's not a bad show. I just was like, that's not entertaining me as much as that movie did. Even now, 7 months later, 8 months later, since the Snyder Cut came out, that film or television show or streaming show is not doing for me what that one movie did. And I think as fans, I want to see more of that type of film. Even if it means I don't get to see as many comic book movies a year as I will get. You know, and that's why I'm excited for Spider-Man No Way Home, because I feel like that will be a better constructed film.
no.
And I want to see more Zack Snyder style or Zack Snyder attention to detail in comic book films.
Yeah. Two things, and then I'm going to be done with the topic. So first of all, I'm just looking back to this. So Mark, you said I agree they are idiots, and I agree. I'm trying to tell you what your words do to their fan worship. Okay. You say I have sources. I said that I had I didn't say I had a source. I said I had a conversation that I talked about with a friend privately. But that's a source. So yes, I had a source about a different situation. And then you say it's returning. Those two statements can be misleading. Here's the misleading part about it. If you put those two statements together, because I never said I have a source that's saying it's returning. Anybody who does that is misunderstanding or misleading you, or if you're hearing that, understand that I never said those two things together. I never said I have a source that's telling me that the Snyderverse is returning. If you ask me my personal opinion, I will. People are entitled to their personal opinion. That has nothing to do with a source or anybody else. It just has to do with what they see or what they think or what they feel. That's all. That's all. Those two things are not exclusively together. So
I think what Benson has the issue with, and I'm not saying I have, but I think that where Benson is finding the issue is that in his mind and in the way he sees it, and I can understand, you know, it's just not happening right now.
Yeah.
And so he would want you to say, you know, instead of I think it's gonna happen, I think he wants people to say I want it to happen. Yeah. So I can understand it's probably like a choice.
Well, so okay, I mean, the next comment is, so can you confirm right now the Snyderverse is not returning and you have no evidence or information to suggest otherwise? Here's the thing. One, I can't confirm anything because I'm not a part of it. So I can't confirm to you whether or not it's returning or not. I can tell you this. If the regime doesn't change, if Zaslav gets in there and Hamada doesn't change and Emmerich doesn't change, or, you know, like that group, it ain't happening. I mean, is that good enough for you? I mean, because like I just told you, like I just laid out to you, like what I've been privy to, that these things had to change. That's what I was privy to. So now you know that like these things have to change. So if those things don't change, but like again, like I don't feel that like those things are like some like private, scary, like, you know, sourcey stuff where it's like it's pretty obvious that things have to change for Zack to come back and feel that way. Just like Ray Fisher would come back, but Ray Fisher never got fired. Yeah. Okay, that's the misrepresenting thing here is like, oh, they got rid of Ray because he was troublesome. No, they actually wanted Ray Fisher to be in the Flash. Ray Fisher even had conversations with Andy Muschietti. Okay, there was a role for the Flash or for Cyborg to play in that film. Okay, that was the plan. Even if you watch Crisis on Infinite Earths, where Ezra Miller made an appearance. Notice he name drops Victor when the two Flashes meet, and he goes, "Oh, you know, what's he say? Like I told Victor this was possible or something like that." Right. Because those two guys were connected. Those two guys were friends in the movie. Okay, so the plan was always for Cyborg to be there. Ray Fisher walked away from it because he said Hamada needs to apologize.
Yeah,
and he said I won't be a part of it until Hamada apologizes. So So people have twisted that then to be, well, they got rid of Ray because he was so troublesome they didn't want him to deal with this stuff anymore. No, Ray got so frustrated and fed up with them that he walked away, and he put his money where his mouth is and didn't care if you know, he didn't work with them again. He's going to get work elsewhere, right? That, and then I think I thought there was one more thing. But I didn't. No, Benson, I never said. Look, if it was taken that way or whatever, or it sounded like I said that I had sources that said that it was absolutely returning. No, I've never intended that to be a thing that was being said. That was something that was thrown out there in a conversation that had nothing to do with what I was talking about. And I love Matt, but Matt did that. Matt did that to me, and that was actually a source of contention for a little while because I didn't feel that it was fair that Matt did that to me. And I told him that. Because I did not say that I had sources regarding the Snyderverse returning, that it was coming back. Everything that I heard, even with the people, because the same people that I had conversations with, but I don't consider that a source. I consider that, look at the situation. Zack has openly said in front of everybody that he would come back, that he wants to come back. Nobody's forcing him to come back, that he wants to. Like, you know what I mean? Like the interviews are out there, man. The things that Zack has said is out there, but it's going to take regime change. It's going to take those people being gone for him to be able to step in and do it because they don't want him. Look, if you want anything from me, I've said it. I've already said it many, many, many times. The current state of Warner Brothers, it will not happen. The Snyderverse will not return with the current state of Warner Brothers. What I'm telling you is, and you could say, well, it's just you believe in Enosh. What I'm telling you, I'm not telling you that it's absolutely happening. I'm not telling you that even with the changeover that it's absolutely happening. Yeah. What I'm telling you is that if you ask me if there's a chance, yes, there's a chance now. That's all I'm saying. If we weren't in a situation where Warner Brothers was being bought out and there was regime change and things are going to change over, I would be right there telling you, yeah, no, it looks like there's no way. Looks like there's no way because Warner Brothers as it is does not want him. He doesn't even know what it is. Like literally the man doesn't even know what it is. They did not share the metrics with him. Okay. But here's the thing. Can we just admit that Zack Snyder knows what he's doing? Like he's always known what he's doing. Like to downplay the roles and the things that he does, I feel is insulting to the man. Like everybody insulted him for 4 years and said he was a liar, that he did not have a cut of his film. But he always knew that he had a cut of his film. To say otherwise, it may have looked like the right thing to say. It may have, from that standpoint, been, yeah, this isn't going to happen. But the truth came out. The truth is still the truth. Regardless, and there was enough people who had faith who didn't have evidence, right? They didn't have evidence that Zack Snyder's Justice League existed. They had Zack's word that it existed versus the Campias of the world, right? Versus the critics of the world who said it was stupid, that there was no way it was going to happen. And at the end of the day, the truth won out. Regardless if it happens, like, why are we fighting about this? I don't understand. I understand the source of contention where it's like, I'm not on the crazy side of stuff. Mark, anybody else listening? Matt, anybody else? I'm not on the crazy side of this. Never been on the crazy side of this. I'm not obsessed with Zack Snyder. You know, I've talked a lot about Zack Snyder because it's been the first part of this year. It was the only thing that we had to talk about.
Yeah.
It was literally the only story going because it was an amazing story. And there was new stories constantly coming out about and around what we were talking around the Snyder cut. Right. But that's not my whole identity. And I haven't even done Snyder. Like it's not even like my channel has been all Snyderverse stuff because it hasn't. It hasn't. I mean, Austin's been around. Caden's been around on the channel. Anybody who watches my channel knows, like, I still get boxed in that. I still get people who try to act like I'm like one of these obsessed people. So honestly, I just feel like I don't fit in anywhere right now because I don't fit in with those crazed people who hate me and come after me. And you guys don't even know what I've gone through over the stupidest stuff. Austin does over the last couple of days, but I've dealt with stupid stuff over a silly just nice thing that my friend Max has tried to do, and you know, I've taken absolute hell from those people. I've been harassed. You know, people wondered why I disappeared for three or 4 weeks, you know, a couple months ago, for my own mental health, because I was being attacked every day. I would literally think, well, you know, I'm gonna go on a stream or whatever. I'm gonna do a stream, and then I'd be like, no, I just don't have the strength to do it, because then I would guest on somebody else's thing like this, and I'd go in there and I was literally getting attacked. I was getting told that I said stuff that I didn't say. I was being told that I'm the leader of the Snyder Cut. I'm this and that and blah blah blah, stuff I never did. And so, you know what? So I walked away for about 3 or 4 weeks, and I did that. And now I come back, and the thing is, those people hate me. I know those people hate me. I'm not one of those crazies. I'm not out here. I'm not Zod Rider. Okay. And I'm not saying Zod is crazy. I'm just saying sometimes he says stuff that goes way too far. Zod has been a friend. Okay. And Zod has defended me against the people, but Zod does hang out with the crazies. Okay. There are those people who've come after me. Right. And absolutely come after me. And some of them have literally threatened me. Okay. So no, I am not a part of that. But then I don't like the fact that the people that I call friend and the people that, like, they apparently don't want the Snyderverse, or they say they want the Snyderverse, but they just don't believe that it can happen. Great. Why are you fighting me? Like, why are you trying to pin something on me? Like what does that accomplish? You know, that's all I'm asking. Like, look, listen, I've already told you what I feel about it. If you ask me what I think it's going to happen, because I see that there's a doorway there. If those things don't happen, then it won't happen. Now, the other thing you asked me, how long do you wait? I'm not waiting. Yeah, it's been like 5 years since the Snyderverse kind of closed down, right? You know, since the last thing. Now, we don't know what the Flash is going to do to possibly open that back up or make a way for it. If we don't hear anything by the time Zack is done with his 2 years over at Netflix,
that's what I said. I said
I'm done.
It's a 2-year time frame.
I'm not gonna be waiting. I'm not gonna be waiting another 5, 7, 10 years, right? That's stupid. There's people though who are dedicated to that, guys.
Yeah.
But I am not. So, like, again, I am not a crazy. I'm not a loony who's out there and just going like, I'm gonna fight to the death. I'm not gonna be sitting around here at 50 years old. You know, I'm 45 right now. I'm not gonna be I'm not gonna be sitting here at 50 years old going, all right, guys, come on. Like, we got the Snyder Cut, you know, the Snyderverse coming. Like, you know what I mean? It's just,
I had 2 points I had to make, but now it's 3. First of all, Enosh, you're 40. I would never have guessed that.
Yeah, I'm 45.
I thought you were my age.
No, I'm 45. Yeah.
Okay.
He just turned 21.
My second point was people, Jarbo says he could be available to jump in 15 minutes. Would you be okay with that? If not,
I mean, I'm not okay.
I'm not
with
sure what he has to say. I don't know why but if you would be okay with that. But
I'm not deflecting. I'm sick. No, you know what this? I'm not deflecting. You know what this is? I'm sick of this conversation.
Yeah, I understand
that this conversation, because
I've said many times, and maybe this is the Catholic or the Christian in me. Like, I have faith. That doesn't mean I know something's going to happen. I'm like, I hope he's going to come back. Look, the Snyder Cut happening. I wanted the Snyder Cut to happen, but I actually did not think it was going to happen. I'll be honest. I was like, probably not.
Benson's, I said I had sources. Benson's, I said I had sources about the freaking Geeks and Gamers thing.
Yeah.
It was.
I never said that I had sources regarding the Snyderverse continuing. That's 2 different things. That's absolutely 2 different things. I mean, I don't know. Look, I don't know why. I don't know why that I don't know how those things got put together, but I had a conversation with Matt about that at the time that stuff was going down. And then we were one day talking about the Snyderverse, and Matt's like, well, you say you know something. No, I didn't. Yeah. And I told Matt right then, I did not say it.
But Benson just wrote something, but Enosh, you keep bringing it up. He's not the only one who brings it up.
I've done 3 videos about it this week. About what?
I don't know if he's referring to you or maybe other people.
Bring it up. I've done 3 videos about it this week. Okay, let me look at my videos this week. Hold on a second. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at my my dashboard.
You guys give me 5 seconds. I'll be right back.
Yeah, let me take a look. Let me take a look at my dashboard and my content this week, because I am going to talk about the things that actually happen, right? Like, should
Well,
I
there are
not?
things
Should
in
I?
the
Should I
news,
not?
yeah.
Should I not talk about? So
Like
yesterday,
Dwayne Johnson brought up stuff. And
yep. So
Henry Cavill and
yesterday I did a stream. Henry Cavill still ready to play Superman because he did an
said
interview
he
and he
did
said
say
he was
had
still
the
ready to
suit
play
in
Superman.
the
That
closet.
the costume was there, that he had put it on recently, and The Rock doesn't know who Superman will be. Am I not supposed to talk about that? Are you going to give Matt Jarbo a hard time for talking about that? Because Matt Jarbo talked about that too. Like it's a piece of news. That was the last video that I did live. Before that, I did a nerd encouragement where I talked about the horrible thing that happened to me in Chicago because I got hit up for some tolls that I shouldn't have got hit up for. Then before that, yes, I did a Zaslav thing because the Discovery deal, the issue came up where literally the Discovery deal might not go through. But what else was in that? What else was in there? I'm looking at a title right now: Discovery deal issues. Should I not talk about that? But what else is in there? Shang-Chi sequel. Right? The Shang-Chi sequel was announced. Colin Farrell Batman spinoff. That has nothing to do with the Snyderverse. Patty
Off Cleopatra.
Jenkins exits Cleopatra.
Yeah.
And then Batista, it was in M. Night Shyamalan's movie. So literally, if you want to put Patty in there, I guess, but it really wasn't even about Wonder Woman. I mean, we talked a little bit about Wonder Woman just because it's her and why she left Cleopatra. But the Discovery deal. Yeah. So the Discovery deal was something that happened this week, man. It was just something that happened this week. But before that, what's before that? The one before that was Charlie Cox confirmed, because that was when like everybody was talking about Charlie Cox coming back as Daredevil. Willem Dafoe in his new reveal of his face reveal for Spider-Man. Animated Batman is getting an audio treatment, and is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Didn't do a video there about it. Before that, I had Dave, Film Junkie. I guess we talked a little bit about it, but it wasn't. I mean, we talked about the possibilities, right? But it wasn't really the thing. I did like 3 Spider-Man watch parties. I did a game night. I did a couple of nerd encouragements that didn't really talk about that at all. The last live stream I did before that, let's see, what is Spider-Man sales for the new trilogy. Susan Arnold, who is the new CEO over Disney. Kirstie Clemens talks to Flash because she did talk about what it was like to be back in the Flash. And then Danny DeVito wanted to be the Penguin again. Okay, so I mean, like, I can go back through this. Like, if there's one story, before that, I did a Hawkeye stream impromptu with Austin there. And then, yes, I did a nerd encouragement that talked about hope. I did a nerd encouragement that talked about hope because Henry Cavill was talking about how he wants to be Superman again. And that's all I talked about. Before that, a couple more Spider-Man things. Yes. Then there was the turkey stream. Yep. So in the last week or so, last couple of weeks, there have been some Snyder stuff. But if you go back before that, I'm not talking Snyder stuff. I'm talking about He-Man, Masters of the Universe. I did a thing about superhero movies if they even stand the test of time. I talked about Routh Superman, actually. Brandon Routh wanting to do a Superman project. I talked about Sabine Wren. Leto wanted the Ayer cut. He came out and said, yes, he wants the Ayer cut. Then we talked about Black Panther 2 being shut down. Dude, I'm doing a diverse amount of stuff. I am not obsessed with Snyder cut or Snyderverse stuff.
Right.
So everybody needs to get over that.
Yeah. But you know what?
And yes, if this for you, Mark, and look, I love Mark. Mark knows I love him. Mark and I are friends, and I mean Mark has supported the so I'm not mad at Mark. So don't anybody take it like that. But here's the thing: if this video is worth it, if this confirmed for you that I did not have sources regarding the Snyderverse, then great, because I never said that. I had a conversation with somebody, yes, regarding geeks and with more than one person actually regarding geeks and gamers. And so I knew for sure that, and I told Jeremy right to his face when he came on my show that he was a liar regarding the Zack Snyder stuff because I had that source. Okay. Because I had that conversation. Unfortunately, that got twisted around. Well, if you know something, you should tell us. No, I never said that. So there you go. I'm not gonna debate.
But you know what
Jarbo about it either.
Isn't that? I understand that because me and Ty got in touch last summer because of the Snyder cut, and for the longest time when I joined in November of last year to about March, April, Snyder Cut was usually the number one topic or it would come up. And so when me and Austin started the show, I said, we got to talk about other stuff, whether it's Free Britney or Alec Baldwin shot someone. I want to talk about other stuff. I still want to talk about Snyder Cut, but that can't be. And we actually talked about this. We had a meeting, me, Ty, Justice, and we were like, we have to move on. Even though we all love the Snyder Cut and we want the Snyderverse restored, and we talk about it way more than we probably should, it became upset. We lost a lot of viewers. You know, we were going really well, and then as soon as the Snyder Cut came out and we tried to change the subject, like, oh, Falcon and Winter Soldier's coming out, WandaVision's coming out, oh, Ben Affleck is back with J-Lo, or whatever going on in pop culture, we lost viewers, and it was very hard to get that back. And then people would come back like, oh, they're not talking about Snyder. Out. You could literally see.
Dude, I experienced the exact same thing, dude. I was averaging a couple of 1,000 views per video.
Yeah.
Okay. At least. Okay. Some did more. And then it just, when you didn't have that Snyder stuff to talk about, but that was the only thing to talk about. And we were in the middle of the pandemic, and I mean, you're going to talk about that. And Mark, I appreciate what you're saying. I have a little bit of a different perspective because those crazy people, they're not listening to me, dude. The people that you're talking about, the Zods, the Fatal Jays, the Gobs, these other people, they're not listening to me, dude. They're not getting that from me at all. Those people don't like me anymore. Like, they're not watching me, dude. And seriously, on Twitter, even now, dude, like, Mark, and I guess this is why, again, like, I don't understand that to me. And I appreciate, like, if you are trying to protect me, if you're just trying to keep them from being able to use my words against me. But here's the thing, man, or like that's supposedly like encouraging them, because, dude, those people are insane, dude. And those people don't listen to me anymore. Like, those are the people that I lost because I started talking rationally, you know, and that's all I'm asking for my other friends who I thought were rational about it too, is that, you know, hey, let's not overdo this, but also in the same breath, like, let's not go the other way where it's just like we're going to be negative about the Snyderverse. You know what I mean? I think that there's a good middle ground here where we say, you know what? Things look bad, right? Things look bad for it. I mean, even Zack has come out and said, look, they don't want me, right? The current regime does not want me. But even he has said, let's see what happens with these other people, because he does want to do it, you know? And I don't think there's anything wrong to have that conversation, because that's based on the reality. The problem, and this is what I will submit for everybody's discussion. I don't feel that it is genuine if we're saying that that this other side is taking all these words and twisting them to mean that it's absolutely happening. It is not fair to twist some negative things or some possibilities or even Zack's own words and twist them into a way that it's negative, that it's not going to happen, right? When Zack says, this is how I feel about it, if the other side goes, see, Zack said it, so it's absolutely happening, that's twisting his words to say that it's absolutely happening, when Zack didn't say that. Zack said that I would love to do it and I want to do it. But to take Zack's words and twist them the other way and say, see, Zack will just say anything to anybody, right? That's not fair either. And Matt and I had a discussion, got a little heated a few weeks ago about Wayne T. Carr even. Look, I don't know how his acting is, but it wasn't me who was casting him. And I don't believe for a second, because of the conversations that I've had, both with people who are around Zack, close to Zack, and even talking to Zack. Zack's not out here just like casting people. And I think that there's a way that you can say stuff. And yeah, you know what? The role of Green Lantern didn't get picked up and it didn't get put in the film. But at the same time, let's not be dissenting about that, and just like, let's use proper language when it comes to that it's like, hey, this part got cut and didn't get used, instead of, well, it was never meant to be, like Zack didn't care about it anyways. He just got the job because he was friends with somebody, and just act like Zack didn't know anything that he was doing and like didn't care about how the acting was or anything. You know what I mean? There was a, I don't know if you guys saw the animation that came out, somebody made regarding that scene, the closing scene of Justice League.
Oh, the animation
with Green Lantern put in instead. Now look, for a fan who put that in, or like somebody who does it, like, dude, it looked great.
Yeah,
right? I mean, it looked fine. You know, but that's obviously not Wayne T. Carr's acting either.
Yeah.
Okay, that was not Wayne T. Carr acting. That was not the actual footage. You know, like I have some friends who were just like, well, if that's his acting, I don't like it. Well, okay, you can be snarky about it, right? But that's not his acting, you know. And look, Matt's my friend. People are my friends who have differing opinions than me, and that's absolutely okay.
Well, now that you mentioned that, Jarbo is here, but real quick, just because this is breaking right now, number one, our producer Caden told us that Cowboy Bebop season 2 has been canceled, and this is pretty interesting. I don't want this to be the top of the conversation, but I wanted to at least report on it. Jussie Smollett has been convicted of 5 of 6 counts. So for anyone following that, he has been convicted after the jury deliberated for 8 hours today. I don't want that to be the top of the conversation because who's joining Jivin with Jack for the first time. Jarbo.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, guys? I don't have a great deal of time because I do have to go with my kids, but I just had a really like a couple quick points I wanted to make. Enosh, dude, you know I love you, but like you have said multiple times, you don't know what I know. And that's what I was pressing you on. And when I finally pressed you on it hard enough, you came back and said, well, it's just a feeling. And that is not what that means when you say that.
No, that's not what I said.
That is what you said.
No, that's not what I said. That's not what I said. You took a conversation that you and I had about knowing something and applied it to something else that I didn't know about. And
no, this isn't like a one-time thing, though. No, you didn't.
I know it wasn't because we kept having the conversation over and over again, and you were the one who kept bringing up the fact that, well, if you know something, say it. And I kept telling you, I don't know that. I'm telling you, I don't have a source for that. But you kept throwing it up to me because we had a conversation about something earlier that I did have a personal knowledge of, and that's what I was referring to the whole time. And you kept inferring that I knew something about something else that I never inferred. As far
everything I brought up has always been about the continuation of
it wasn't
the
at
Snyder.
That point. It wasn't.
Yes, it was.
That was when the conversation started turning, and that was the early days of it. And I had told you once that I had knowledge of something regarding some things, and then you kept inferring that it meant this blanket statement that I have knowledge of like everything.
No, listen, man, listen here. And I'm not the only one who will say this. I might be the only one who will say this to you.
Okay.
But look, here's the deal is when you go, Wayne T. Carr has been here, Ray Porter has been here, Ray Fisher has been here, and you bring that up, and then you have done this, you'll segue into a conversation, and then you go, you don't know what I know, but you always like to go back to that, like, yeah, I've had these people here. It makes people believe that you know more than you do. And that is what Benson's referring to. That's what I've been referring to. It's just the notion of like, okay, if you wanted to continue, which I know you do, which we all do, great. But it's like your words, the way you're presenting them.
Matt? Do you want it to continue?
Yeah, absolutely want it to continue. But I also want people to be realistic and to let somebody who has been in an emotionally traumatic situation to leave.
Then report it that way and don't twist it to be that
I'm not twisting it.
You've twisted it to be that Zack doesn't care about any of this, that he'll just say anything that anybody
he
wants
will.
to
If you
say.
ask Zack, if you ask him, go back and watch any interview of people. If you have, I have, to my knowledge, in all the interviews I've seen of him, when people ask him about directing a fan project, would you direct Star Wars? Oh, I'd love to direct Star Wars. Would you like to do this? I'd love to do this. 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 He never says, I don't want to direct that.
About what?
About a multitude of different fan-based projects.
He didn't. Okay, so would you like to direct Star Wars? Yeah, I wanted to direct Star Wars, but I realized that my thing wouldn't fit in with what they were doing, so I'm doing my own thing. How is that? How is that? Yes, I'm just going to do Star Wars. I do anything. He
wasn't Rebel Moon originally written as a pitch for Star Wars. That's what I'm talking about here.
He literally said though that what he wanted to do was not going to fit in with Star Wars, and so no, he didn't feel that he was a good fit for it.
But he's still, but if asking him if he wants to make a,
what director would say that I don't want to do Star Wars?
Exactly.
He said that.
But that's my point. And again,
didn't fit. He said that he literally said that the idea that he had didn't fit.
Sure, but that doesn't. But again, hold on. You are literally adding something else to what I'm referring to. I'm not referring to what he said after. I'm saying if you look at interviews with him where people ask him if you would do X, he generally says, every time I've heard him, he says yes. Yeah, sure. I'd like to do something like that. Right. That's the whole point. He's not going to sit there and tell you he doesn't want to do something, but he's a nice guy. He's going to tell fans what they want to hear because he's also said, and this is a direct quote, I will never say no to a paying customer. So he'll never fully
love to latch onto that
because it's a good quote.
Jarbo, I understand what you're saying. And first of all, thank you for being here. I'm very excited.
Sure.
I got 2 people on my show today. It'd be perfect if Austin wasn't here. But that being said,
Well, you can boot him.
Yeah, I can. I'll just take my face off. There you go.
But you're right. Yeah, I can understand Zack saying, "Oh, I would do this or I would do this." But when I feel like when it comes to the DCEU, when he says I would still do it, it's almost like a different animal. Would you agree or not? Like when it comes to the DCEU, when he says, "Oh, I would totally come back if Discovery."
I think he would come back. Yeah, I do. But at the same time, you have to also look at it from the perspective of where is he at in his career at the moment? You know what I mean? Like everything else going on. And so a lot of what people are asking him, and there are people that I've seen, I'm not accusing Enosh of this whatsoever, but there are people that are very pro Snyder that will take what he says and they'll make it out to be, well, you know, we could get this as early as 2023.
Yep.
And it's like, come on, guys.
I know.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people that take it and they run with it and they make all these claims. What I'm mostly referring to here, and this is the frustration that I've heard from a few people, has been when it comes to this specific subject, it does come across as Enosh frames it like he knows more than he's letting on, and I get that it's feeling, I get that it's that it is very much what he wants, and that's great. And again, I support that and I want that too, but that's where I'm at with it. And it's like, all right, man, like I get it, you know, people
That's
like,
your
and I know
feeling. That's your feeling.
that is my feeling, and that I'm not.
You don't know the conversations that I have had or haven't had.
See, there we go again with that. There we go.
Yeah,
again with
because
that.
you don't.
It's because
you
again,
don't.
you come at it with
Why
this.
do
Well,
you
you don't know
care?
what I know scenario.
Well, why do you? Because you don't know what I know. But what do you care?
There we
And
go.
I told you about a specific situation that you didn't know what I knew, because you were coming hard at it from another angle and another thing. And I told you, you don't know what I know about this. And I had other friends who did some pretty silly stuff, okay, that I disagreed with, that I told them at the time, guys, this isn't a good idea. You don't know what you don't know. And that was really more of the problem, was you just don't know what you don't know. That's not a blanket statement that I'm.
But did you notice here that you just used 2 different statements to mean the same thing? You said you don't know what I know, and then you don't know what you know. And those are 2 separate issues. Those are 2 separate things.
You didn't know at the time what I knew, but you were pressing me to tell you what I knew. And I told you even then I could not tell you what I knew then. It's the same thing when people press Ray Fisher for more information about his situation, and there were reasons why he couldn't tell everybody everything that he knew, or all the things that he wanted to tell them, or get it all out there. One, because part of it's not his story to tell, it's for other people to tell, but yet people like Andy Signore, Jody's Corner kept pressing him, saying, well, just tell us, we want to know. Everything is, just because you know something doesn't mean it's for you to tell people. And I've never applied that, and I've never once applied that and came into anybody's stream regardless and said, hey, the Snyderverse is happening because I know I've got sources. I've never framed it that way, and I've never said that. Yes, it's been, people can interpret whatever they want to, but that's never been what I said, and that was never my intention. And I'm not going to argue with that, because I know my own intention, I know my own heart, and I know what I said. So if you want to take it that I said something and meant it another way, then you can either take me at face value and telling you that's not what I meant, that's not what I was saying, that's not what I was trying to communicate. I was talking about a different situation completely, and that was right at the time that all the stuff was starting to go over from Snyder cut talk and what was happening to Snyderverse all of a sudden. Okay, the Snyderverse thing wasn't even a thing at the time when we started having this conversation. And I've never framed it that I'm just like, I know something. I'm burnt. I've never done that. I've told you before.
Just real quick. And Jarbo, tell me what you think about this.
Okay.
I've always felt there's a difference between when Enosh says he has sources versus when someone like Doomcock says like, oh, I have sources. Like there's a level of trust that I'm willing to give Enosh.
Sure, and I'm not.
I'm like, okay, when
but like Mark, see, here's
when Doomcock is like, I have sources. Kathleen Kennedy's being fired. I'm like,
well, and you can't put the 2 sentences together. Mark is still putting the 2 sentences together. I believe it's returning. I have sources. I have never said that. That is not a thing that I have ever said. I've never said I believe it's returning. I have sources, and that's why I believe it. That has never been a thing that I've said. If that's what you get, then you haven't heard me. You have not listened to me, and you've listened to somebody else or something else that somebody's interpreted that way, or what you wanted to hear. Because I've never said I have sources.
Part of it,
that's
though,
why I think a lot of Snyder Cut's coming back.
Enosh, and this I've been guilty of this. We hear what we think we're hearing. So if Enosh says that I think it's going to happen, we're like, he knows something. Like all of a sudden, and that's the problem with the internet. People will automatically tell you what they think they heard or how they interpreted. This goes back to the Thanksgiving photo. You know, people are like, oh, that's Zack. He's sending us a clue. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But people are so absolutely sure about their interpretation. Like, and me and Austin were talking about this last week. Maybe it was just that he had the book in the background. He loves it. And other people were like, maybe it means something. And I was one of them. I was like, maybe he had a conversation with David Zaslav. I don't know. But people want to report what they think is absolute truth. Like, yo, I know something. I know something. Or Enosh said something 3 weeks ago. He knows something. And
that's not what I said. And TW, everything that I knew already came out. It's already been said. Everything regarding that situation was already said. It already came out at the time. It came out afterwards. And that's why I was done with it. That's why I don't understand why we're still having this conversation, because that was literally done, said. People revealed other stuff, and that, like I said, there are a couple of things that like I still won't talk about, because even though they did come out, nobody talked about them afterwards. So if they ever materialize, they materialize. But you know, as far as like me ever saying that, putting those things together is I have sources. And I believe the Snyderverse is happening. I've never reported anything that way, never said anything that way. Anything regarding that is a fallacy and a gross negligence in reporting what I said or twisting what I said, because I've never said that. So I don't know what else to tell you. I know what I've done. I know what I said. You know, if you want to dig through the last, year of my reporting and try to find something where maybe I said something that sounded like that or whatever, I guess, you know what? Have at it. I really don't effing care anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. I really don't care anymore. I've had to deal with other BS from a bunch of a-holes who literally want to come at me because they don't think that I'm pro Snyder enough. And now I got to hear this crap that apparently because I said something that I was pro Snyder about something, that all of a sudden I'm some kind of bad person, or I mislabeled it, or I'm in the wrong for that. It's a bunch of BS. It's a bunch of nerd crap where it's like, instead of actually talking about stuff, like everybody's, posturing about like, well, if you say this, it's doing this, and if you say this, it's doing that. That's a bunch of BS.
Yeah.
So I mean, like you're gonna literally hold me responsible for saying once that I believe the Snyderverse could happen, and saying that I talked to somebody that was close to the situation about that, but I love Jarbo, but I don't. But like the thing is, I mean, like I am not some controversial lightning rod, but for some reason, this kind of BS, like this is like not even high school.
This happened last week. This happened last week. We had a viewer who literally left the stream because me and Austin were disagreeing, or not even really disagreeing, just had different opinions about the Snyder.
People that I like.
And one person was like, I can't stay here for this. I'm leaving. I'm like, we're not disagreeing with each other. We are disagreeing, but we're not fighting with each other.
Yeah.
And Austin, you know who I'm talking about. Like that person guy was like, I can't stand this. I'm like, well, what's happening?
Yeah, they were saying that we were arguing.
And by the way, I was on the side that maybe the turkey picture might mean something. That's
all right, guys. I got to dip. I got to take care of my kids. So sorry, guys. I only had a few minutes.
There you go.
What?
Thanks for dropping in, Jarba.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts? Oh, he left.
When did I say in the stream that I think this? Yes, I have sources.
Mm-hmm.
When you asked me when you asked me if I felt that the Snyderverse was returning, when did I ever say yes? I have sources.
Yeah.
Did I say that?
I love Benson, but I feel like
did I say that? I'm just asking. Did I say that? Did I say that?
I didn't hear you say that. I heard you go through. I mean, you never said that specifically, but you talked about the things that need to happen.
I talked about
In
the
order.
things that need to happen because
Yeah.
those are discussions. I wouldn't even say those are sources. I think those are common sense things that need to happen in order for the Snyderverse to continue.
Exactly.
Again, Warner, the Warner thing needs to go through, right? They're fighting that right now in federal arenas, right? I mean, they got people trying to latch onto it and say that it's not good for, like, I don't know where those people were when the Disney deal went through. I mean, for God's sake, and Disney bought Fox and the whole world, but for some reason they got a problem with this. But like, if that doesn't go through, it ain't gonna happen. You ain't gonna get no Snyderverse. Okay, you happy? Yeah. It's done. All right, happy. Enosh will go away. I'll just stop everything. Okay. And then if the Warner thing goes through, but none of the regime changes and Hamada continues and all that stuff, guess what? It's done. You never have to hear me talk about it ever again. And nobody can misinterpret anything I say because I just won't talk. I mean, you just want me to stop streaming? What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? If everybody's just going to twist my words anyways, like, look, I know the people who are with me who support me, and Mark, I feel like you support me too, but you ever just been done with something? This is something that's really just kind of pissing me off now because I can't be responsible for people twisting every little thing I say about something stupid like this.
Yeah. I wanted to say this about Benson. I love Benson.
I'm not encouraging Mark. I understand you're going. Look, I understand Mark is going through. He's having a day. He's having some stuff. So I feel maybe that's heightening all this. But Mark, when I said I've talked to people about this, okay. When I said I've talked to people about this is conversations that happened quite a while ago, even about how it could continue. And what I said was not some exclusive, was not some crazy thing. I never said Zack Snyder said that he's going to do this and that. And it's not even specifics. It's that these three things have to happen. Warner has to take over, the regime has to change, and the deal has to be right, and the timing has to be right. It can't, and I just told you, I'm not going to be here 7 years from now, going on about the Snyderverse. Like, this is just dumb. Like, and I just feel like, well, you know what? RJ, screw it. If I said sources, okay, you know what? Crucify me, okay? Crucify me because I said that I had a conversation with somebody. If I used a word, okay? I'm sorry if I used a word. If I used the word, I was wrong. Screw it. I don't care. What do you want me to tell you? What do you want me to? You want me to tell you that you're all right, that I'm wrong, that I screwed up? What do you want me to tell you?
I feel like that's what it is.
Like, is that what you want from me? Is that you just want Enosh to tell you all, it's done, guys. I'm so effing done with the Snyder Cut. Screw the Snyder Cut. Screw the Snyderverse. Are you happy? Then they can all take that and they can cut that up, and then they can come at me for that and say, Enosh, see, we told you always hated the Snyderverse. I literally have had people tell me that I hate Zack Snyder, and now I'm having arguments with people telling me that I'm obsessed with Zack Snyder and that I'm trying to tell you something's going to happen that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Maybe I just will stop. Okay, maybe I'll just stop everything. You don't have to see me anymore. Would you like that? I mean, what do you want from me? Like, I'm on somebody else's stream here trying to come in and have fun, and you're trying to, like, nail me to a wall about this. I'm sick of this. Yeah. And you know what? I've had enough going on in my life for the last couple of weeks that I don't need this BS. I got Jarbo coming in here trying to bring up something that I said literally 7 months ago. Right? I mean, like, and we're going to go back and like bring up everything that Jarbo has ever said that's been wrong? No. Like, are we going to bring up everything that Jarbo has said that's been controversial? No. I've defended Jarbo. I was literally on his stream the night that all those idiots were coming after him. I was on his stream defending him to all those people, telling them that the turkey didn't mean anything. Like, I'm just done. Okay, I don't know if RJ's mad or I'm not saying RJ's mad. I'm not saying anybody's mad, but like I'm literally done with this topic. Okay? I'm done with this topic. I don't know what more anybody wants from me.
Listen, Enosh,
I've said it all. I've said it all.
We've had this issue on our channel too. Because me, Ty, Austin, we all want the Snyderverse to continue. But it almost seems in the eyes of some of the viewers that when we don't talk about it, we're betraying it. And this goes back to the Suicide Squad. This was an issue in August. Some of our viewers said, we're not going to see this damn movie. Austin was there with me, because this movie said that Superman got shot with a kryptonite bullet. That's ignoring Snyder's canon, and we're not going to see this movie. And we were arguing with them. We're like, look, we all want the Snyderverse restored, but like the Suicide Squad, you can still go watch it and enjoy it or not enjoy it. But some people are like, nope, we're not going to watch this movie at all because it's not acknowledging the Snyderverse from their opinion. And we've had this issue with our fans, and we love our fans, but
yet in the comics, Superman was literally killed, or not killed, but shot with a kryptonite bullet.
Yeah. But like they were like, nope. When did Snyder say that? I'm like, well, isn't it possible that between Justice League and whenever the Suicide Squad takes place that this might have happened? Nope. It's literally doing like la 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 la. Like
I'm not encouraging anybody.
You're going to ignore a movie that might be entertaining, the Suicide Squad, and the hate worked because that movie did not make as much money as I thought it could have made, at least at the box office. I know it was on HBO Max, but I thought that was a phenomenal movie. But there were a lot of people in the audience who were like, "We're not going to watch anything from DC."
Yeah, and that's a bunch of BS. Like, Mark, if you're saying people twist my words, then I'm not going to be held responsible or be held to the fire over somebody else taking what I'm saying wrong. That's them. That's not me. I am not you can't say that I'm encouraging people to do that, because I'm not. I'm not encouraging anybody to do anything that's wrong, or encouraging anybody to say anything that's wrong or do anything that's wrong. Okay. Or say that something's happening that's not happening. I'm not encouraging anybody to promote a lie. I'm not encouraging any of that stuff. So which is it? Are people twisting my words, or am I encouraging people to these things? Because just saying that I believe that it's happening based on what I see, based on what can happen, all I've said is there is a way. Do you realize something? I'm a Detroit Lions fan, right? I literally I saw an article today, guys. The Detroit Lions are 1 win, 10 losses, and 1 tie. Okay. 10 losses so far. The first 12 games. Do you know that there's actually a way that the Detroit Lions can still make the playoffs? It's insane. Now, a lot of stuff would have to happen, right? A lot of stuff would have to happen for that. But there is actually, I read an article today that showed the next few weeks of how a team that is 1-10-1 can make the playoffs. All I've said is from what I see, there is a way. It's not just blind faith. It's not just hope. It's not just any of that stuff like that. Listen, I love Jarbo, but Jarbo wants to sit here and like talk down about that. That if somebody has hope, you're like, it's bad. It's not bad to have hope. Like, that's what's frustrating about that. It's not bad to have hope. And nobody is promoting a lie. At least I'm not. I'm not promoting just blind hope that it happens. I'm telling you that if Warner Discovery goes into action and then the regime changes at DC, where there's somebody in there who actually likes Zack Snyder and the timing is right and they're able to get people back and they're able to do something, it may not be theatrical. In fact, I would tell you it's probably not going to be theatrical. And Benson, Mark, I've said that so many times on my channel, I can't even tell it anymore. Me and William have been touting that now for a long time, that it's not going to be theatrical. If we get more Snyderverse, it's going to be on HBO Max. That's where it's going to be. We started this conversation with streaming. That's where it's going to be. It's not going to be theatrical because they're not going to want to put all that into the theatrical. If they allow him to complete it, they allow him to complete it. And I'm fine. Listen, I've been on record. I'm fine with him doing literally Justice League 2 and 3 and being done. That's his 5-movie arc. He's done. Mm-hmm. I don't expect Zack Snyder to take anything over or to be any kind of guru or anything like that, or next Kevin Feige. That's not going to happen. I'm not about that, Mark. So if people are twisting my words, that's on them. That is so on them. That's not me. And you have to understand, it gets tiresome.
Yeah.
It gets really tiresome when it's like, you're just trying to have a conversation, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, you said that we're going to hold your feet to the fire for something that, like, Mark, I'm not saying, Mark.
Can I just say
hold
something?
On. Can you bring up Enosh, for you to suggest I'm saying this because of my nan's funeral today is utterly despicable. No, Mark, you're emotional. I'm emotional.
Oh, come on, Benson.
Mark, we've both been through some stuff lately. We've had plenty of private conversations where we've both been through some stuff. I'm not saying that it's just that. See, that's what I'm saying. People are, and Mark, right now, you are picking out little bits and pieces of things that I'm saying, because then the next thing you say, you mislead people. And I was trying to help you. Now, which is it? Do people misunderstand me? Or do you really think that I am misleading people? I accept feedback, but I will not accept you telling me that I'm misleading someone, because I am not misleading anyone. You then are telling me that I'm a liar who is trying to mislead people and trying to tell some people things that are not true. Mark, how is that fair? How is that fair? Tell me how that is fair. You literally just went from Enosh, people misinterpret what you say, to you mislead people. And I was trying to help. I mislead people? No, I do not mislead people. I don't need that. I don't need that kind of energy in my life, man. No, I will absolutely accept feedback. That is not feedback. That is you trying to tell me what I believe and what I think, and that's not fair. That is not fair. And you are not in a place, and no one else is in a place to tell me what I feel or what I think, and then tell me that I mislead people. No, I didn't come on here tonight to have this kind of conversation. I didn't come on here to be told that I mislead people. Okay, and it's not these guys' fault. These guys were awesome. These guys were awesome. These guys, we were having a great conversation. We were having a good time. Everything was great. And now all of a sudden it's hey, we don't like Enosh's opinion about the Snyder cut. So now all of a sudden it's like we're doing this. No, dude, me saying I have sources about something completely different. Mark, why aren't you getting this, man? Why aren't you understanding? I've said this 5 times, dude. I told you I had sources about something else. I'm not saying that I have sources about the Snyderverse, that it's going to happen. I have talked to people, yes, about that, and it's all in agreement that if these things happen, it will happen. If those things don't happen, it's not going to happen. What more do you want, man? Mark, I love you, man, but I just don't understand, like, why you're just so, like, why are you so?
Can I just say this? That I feel like, Benson, you are behaving. And I love you, Benson. Thank you for the support. The way that you accuse integrity of behaving, I feel like you're trying to pick a fight, but I love you guys. And Enosh, is kind of my fault. This show is kind of geared towards being antagonistic, so maybe that's my fault.
No, it's good, man. Like, I can take antagonism. I can take antagonism. Like, I can take criticism. I can take feedback from people, but I don't believe this is feedback. Mark, I love you, man, but for you to literally say, you said in that comment, you mislead people. Do you think that I mislead people? Do you think that I'm sitting up here doing what I do right now? Like, what if you think that, why would you send my channel things to give away? If you think that I'm misleading people, that I'm some bad person, then why, Mark? Why? How does that make any sense, man? Like, I'm so, you know what? I'm so over this whole YouTube clout thing and all this stuff. Like, I'm done with all of that. Like, seriously, just, I don't even know what to say anymore. Like, you really think that I'm just misleading people about that you're not hearing anything that I'm saying about. I haven't said that it's absolutely happening. I haven't said that it's not going to happen.
All right. You know what, Benson? We're going in circles here.
I want to read this. So not at all, because I asked him a question. So let me read the answer. Not at all. Okay. Good. I see Enosh saying these things and they are twisted. Okay, so that means I am not misleading people. People are taking and making their own definition. And I don't know who those people are, because the people that you're citing, dude, don't like me. Okay, I mean, Integrity likes me, but the thing is that people who are saying those things, if anybody's taking my words and saying Enosh said, like, I don't even do, like, it's not like I do daily things about Snyderverse, man. So you know, like, I know some people who do daily, who do like daily reports, man, the Snyderverse, this and that, like, so. Okay, so if somebody takes something that I say, look, yeah, I'm a person who has a channel. People watch that channel. If people misinterpret that, if I find that out, I correct that. That's what I've been doing this whole show, is correcting that mistake. If people feel that way, that's not what I said. That was not my intention. Okay, so then instead of listening, he suggests I'm emotional. I was not just suggesting you were emotional. I'm saying it was getting heated because we are both in a situation right now, Mark, that's tragic, right? And so with that, I felt like you were taking it to a place that wasn't fair, and it was very emotional. I felt you were very emotional, and I was getting very emotional. And why is that? Because sometimes we're in a state where we're heightened. You know what? I'm gonna be dead honest with you. My friend Dawson messaged me something last week on Twitter, private messaged me something about a situation that was going on. And because I was sitting at my grandmother's church all by myself, just thinking about my loss and everything that had been happening, and I was feeling emotional. And all of a sudden I read this thing that Dawson messaged me, and Dawson didn't mean it the way that it sounded at all, but man, I was pissed. And I got mad at Dawson. And I wrote Dawson back this other thing. And I was like, what the heck is this? You know what I mean? Like, who do you think you are saying this to me? And he messaged me back and he goes, dude, that's not what I was saying. I was saying this, this, and this. I was in a heightened state because of what I've been going through lately. I still am in a heightened state for what I've been going through lately. Okay. In the last month and a half, you know, everybody knows I lost my job, right? I lost my grandmother. I have now tried to take over my grandmother's church and try to deal with all that stuff and my family and everything else. I am in a heightened state right now. Yeah. So me getting really ticked off just a minute ago is because of that. And I recognize that. We have to recognize when we're in a situation, it does affect how we approach things. And I felt, Mark, that you were approaching me in a way that was very emotional, and I didn't feel that it was fair. So I think I'm being reasonable, man. I'm trying to be reasonable, and that's all. I'm just trying to be reasonable. I love you. And dude, I'm not using anything to dodge a subject. I could not have addressed this more head on tonight than I have. I've answered every question. I've answered every question. I have not allowed one of your things to go past. I've not allowed people to interrupt me when I'm trying to say what I got to say. I didn't even allow Jarbo to sit here and talk over me and try to tell me what I think and what I feel. I know what I think. I know what I feel. I know what I meant by what I said. It's the exact same thing of people trying to tell me that I said that I was the leader of the Snyder Cut movement and that I started the whole thing. That was a bunch of BS. And anybody trying to tell me what I meant and what I said about the possibilities of the Snyderverse continuing, I guess I'm not going to please everybody. So
yeah, Enosh, I wish
I love you, Mark, and you know what? I'm thankful for you protecting me. But don't. I got to stream too.
We have another stream that freaking Austin.
But I just want to say,
Austin's Caden. I just want to say this. I watch a lot of different streams, even people I disagree with, including Doomcock. I'll watch his videos just to get an idea. You are someone that I truly respect. I know Austin feels the same way. Caden feels the same way. Ty feels the same way. And I feel like, Benson, I love you, but I feel like you're trying to poke the bear, so to speak. That being said, crap, I guess we do have to end because Austin is going to do a stream for the Game Awards. Austin? I think.
You guys. I'm not trying to stop this from going on or anything.
What time do you have to go? What time is it?
I'll just take off
I got to get going here, man, because I
gotta go.
I gotta see my wife. What were you saying, Caden?
RJ sent a member for 5 months super chat, saying, "I hope you guys can get back and read what I've been saying. I think there's nuance here, and that's been missing. And I hope we can all calm down and relax a bit. Much love, everyone. Let's have fun again."
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. But listen, Enosh, part of what JIVIN with Jack is stirring the pot. And I feel like Benson is purposely, no matter how clear you make your point, he's stirring the pot. So that's probably my fault. But Benson, I hope you come back. Well, Benson's always here.
I love
Enosh, I really appreciate you coming on.
I don't have a problem.
It really means a lot to me and Austin. You come back tonight. I know I was telling Austin, like, can we get him back? And he's like, he wants to come on tonight. I'm like, bring him on. It really means a lot to me.
Well, I appreciate that.
Pop Culture Studios and everything. It means a lot to me. And I appreciate it. And I'm glad that this time I did not take any painkillers.
I kind of wish I had now. Like, I think I'd have been a lot more chill.
And I just want to tell the chat, you guys were great. I like that you guys want to push it, but don't sometimes push it too far.
I'm fine with Mark. I'm fine with Mark and Matt. I understand that Mark is speaking his mind, and that's absolutely fine. It's great to speak our minds, and that's how we get things out.
Garbo,
and then
if anyone watches this show, you guys know I am very pro free speech, so I'm never the type of person to censor anyone. But I appreciate Benson, but I also know Benson watches this show and.
Who I want to? You know what I'd like to know. You know what I'd like to know.
I love him,
Mark. Who are you referencing? Who is taking what I said and thinking that it means that the Snyderverse is absolutely happening? Who? Because I tell you what, man, none of the people that I stream with say that. Now, William will get on here and tell you like exactly that it's happening and that and why. He's a guest on my show, and that happens. But who is taking what I said and somehow using that to preach this gospel that the Snyderverse is happening and it's absolute and whatnot? Because if you're going to say integrity's been Integrity has made plenty of comments sometimes that I've just said, hey man, I don't see that, but hey, it's okay because I like integrity. I like everybody who comes to the show. I'm like, I don't have problems with people, but just remember the future one of those knobs. Well, you know what, dude, if somebody ever says that, man, I'll deal with that at that time, dude. You know what, like people are always going to do that, man. Mark, people are people. People do stupid stuff, man.
Benson,
but I'm curious who you think though that I'm inspiring to do something negative like that because I don't even buy into that concept. Like I don't buy into that concept of like what you're saying. People would take that and say that. So, so I don't know. I guess we'll deal with that when and if it comes. But tonight I got a cool stream happening. I just shared with you a picture. I got 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. Yes. We're probably going to be talking about Snyder stuff.
Can I say something, guys? Ping Pong Flicks and Enosh. Very few people watch your channel, so please support them. They need your support. They don't get the 100 views that my show gets, so please support these guys. No, seriously, obviously. Enosh, you being on today, literally, we were going to talk. I had no topics for today.
Well, I gave you a good one, didn't I? This one goes in the record books, man.
Thank you so much.
No, but I got Chris coming on because this last weekend I interviewed Dave, the film junkie. And because this last week we were having a lot of conversations about just a lot of the negative stuff, that's out there in the Snyderverse. And look, I'm very aware of the negativity. Like, and I could go down with a list of names with the people that I feel are very negative and have issues. And look, they have issues with me, and that's fine. we get past that. But I'll tell you what, I wanted to do a series of interviews and talks with people that I know are good people.
Oh, wait, hold on a second. Is that real? Is that actually Doomcock?
No, that's not. That's I bet you that's Black Ops. That's just
For a second, I got excited. Even if it was like Doomcock.
Yeah.
I disagree with him about 99% of stuff except Star Trek.
Yeah. But yeah, no. So Chris is a good one, and so we're going to we're gonna have a good conversation with him. So
okay, cool. First of all, I thank Caden, who usually joins the show, but decided to take a step back today. I want to thank Tyler he's the guy who made all this, all the cool graphics you see. I really appreciate it.
Oh yeah, Tyler messaged me. Tyler was asking me if we could do this thing tomorrow. I said yeah. So let's do it.
Yeah, I want to thank Austin, my co-host. Check out his channel. It's called Little Big City Studios.
Little Big City Studios. Check that out. Some fun stuff.
And also check out Poindexter Lounge. I know he's not that famous, but he needs help. That was a joke. Oh, look at his face. I'm joking. Listen, can I tell you something, Enosh?
Yeah.
You really helped us today. Really. I really appreciate it. Down to my heart. And I would love to have a stream, if it's allowed, where the three of us talk about our faith. Maybe it'll have to be on Christmas Day or something that's not Jiving with Jack. Maybe just a stream where we talk about pop culture and our faith. Is that allowed?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I would love it. But folks, I appreciate your support. I appreciate the chat for being lively, and I'm glad no one used abusive language in the chat. Thank you. I'm being serious. I appreciate it. Because remember, folks, we have a stream starting in about 6 minutes, right? Austin, we love you. We're going to cover the Game Awards. Enosh, you said you're going to be live soon, right?
10 p.m. Eastern time.
10 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure to check it out. Because remember, we do it for you, and we do it for... Oh, sorry. We're doing a holiday watch party for Die Hard Friday night. So if you've never seen Die Hard or don't understand why it's a Christmas movie, we pay for these movies. It'll be on Friday night. Make sure you follow Pop Culture Corner. We'll let you know. Because we do it for you, and we do it for the culture.